Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. Don.
Cool, man.
Hahn.
Don holding his hammer.
And Rosenberg.
Repug Don doesn't hold a candle to that pumpkin pie haircut of a freak.
This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
3 o'clock in the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you until 6:30. Then we got Knicks basketball on 880. We've got Rangers hockey on 1050. I dodged it. I shuck and jive, man. The kids were sick. My wife was sick all Christmas.
Not you, though.
And I'm like, man, the gods are smiling upon me. I'm able to do all these games. I'm traveling.
Yep.
Columbus, Toronto. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yep.
Until you're not good.
No.
But it's not too bad.
Fellas, I got one quickie.
No, shut up.
Too soon.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I can sustain. I'm going to give it a try. Got through the game. It was back-to-back games, so it was tough. But you know what? It's a first world problem. You can understand what I'm saying. You can hear me. You can hear what's coming out of my lungs. Happy New Year, everyone.
Did you see, Alan, did you see what happened, the unfortunate incident that happened?
Luke Hughes scoring twice in his own net yesterday?
No.
Oh, not that?
No.
I did see that. He made Gracie cry. We're going to have a conversation.
That happened?
Well, because she loves the Hughes brothers. And so when they have moments like that, it hurts her.
Made Danica cry. But what happened?
Actually, Luke cried too.
I can't. I asked Don earlier when Anthony gave me my reads.
Yeah.
I said, you guys just want me to take the helm here because we got Seth Rollins coming on the show at 3:30 anyway, and generally when we have like whoever has like the most direct interest in a guest will usually lead the interviews and things like that. So Don goes, sure. And now Anthony goes, sure. So you guys are still out there, Alan, and I came in here and I sat down at the big boy seat where the leader usually sits.
I did that one day and he didn't like it. You could see it.
No, it's
very symbolic.
He doesn't like when someone else sits there.
He came right in and goes, yeah, you know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah, right.
And then you could hear his voice is still kind of needs a little, kind of needs to rest it a bit. But his ego said, no, Rosenberg.
You know what I heard?
Back out of here.
I heard, go get your shine box.
It was a big shine box moment.
Listen, if that's the way he took it, then that's the way he took it.
I went home and got my shine box.
I'm not worried about it. I was not trying to disrespect you. When I was making my tea, I said, you know what? It's a Giants day. Shane's coming back. And I'm like, you know what? I want to run point to start the show. I'm the Giant guy in the room.
It's fair.
But the way it's totally fair.
Story.
It's just the way it happened, though. I think Anthony would agree. It was a tough moment. Like it was a back to the bench.
Anthony, tough moment. Ant.
We've had those.
The role of Alan Hahn will be played by Peter Rosenberg today.
I thought it was
this is so Alan Hahn of you.
Thank you. Well, I spent a lot of time with him. It was like they were like, hey, hey Peter, you want to be captain today? And I went, really? Yeah, call. Toss is yours, man. Heads or tails, all you, buddy. And I started running out to the field, and as my foot got on the grass, someone just pulled on my jersey. Went on second thought, back to the bench, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and be the captain here. But guess what? For better or for worse, it is a Giants day. It certainly isn't a Jets day.
Well, listen, there's a lot of angles to throw at this, but in case you're just joining us or haven't heard, Joe Shane's been retained. Nobody should be surprised by this.
Nope.
The writing was on the wall for a long time. You could really make the case either way, honestly, because you could say, well, listen, they're 22-45-1 with him as the general manager, another embarrassing season, he's got to go. And I think you would have a very good case. If you were going to look at the other side of it and say, well, there is some talent here, traded back into the first round to get Jackson Dart. Carter did come on in the second half of the season, went out and drafted a young running back late in the draft, and he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, neighbors, and you can make the case there too. What I don't like about it is twofold, guys. I want to punch the screen when I hear about continuity. Well, you want to try to maintain continuity. But if the continuity sucks, you change it. I don't care what happened before. You don't keep a job because, I just don't want to make changes. I want to keep continuity. It's like a drug addict. Listen, I could kick drugs, but I do it every day. I want the consistency.
By the way,
I want to be able to keep that in mind. I don't want to have to make changes.
That is how people get off drugs quite a bit.
Yeah,
I want to be consistent.
Or stay on. I just like the continuity of the yayo every morning. So I find it's ridiculous. If he deserves the job, then keep it. If he needs to be fired, get fired. I'm still waiting for the contract extension. Where's the contract extension? Everybody's saying he's coming back. He's in the last year of his deal, Alan. How are you supposed to find a coach? How are you supposed to build a team if you don't have a contract extension? So we'll wait and see how it all pans out here. But here's the scary, scary thing, and that's why I wanted to take the reins on this, Peter.
Go ahead.
You saw John Mara get the game ball, and you could see he's not well. And you see guys like, Pat Leonard, saw Ralph Acciano, some of the people that cover the Giants that are in the know with tweets and articles yesterday basically saying, appreciate this man and what John Mara is going through. I could be wrong, but I kind of took it as, appreciate the man because the next time we see each other, maybe he's not here. Like it could, we don't know, and I pray to God I'm wrong, but it doesn't sound great. He didn't look great. He's obviously going through treatment. He's a 70-year-old man and has cancer. We don't know what kind of cancer, but he has been traveling on the road.
And they haven't shared anything beyond the fact that he's sick.
And even the statement today didn't include him. He spoke last year when he decided that Dable and Shane were going to stay. He did not speak. So it sounds to me, guys, like Joe Shane's keeping this job for the continuity of he's the adult in the room. He's the football guy in the room. And that maybe if John was well, they would make the change. But right now, how do I let him at general manager go, Peter, when I've got an owner that may not be around very much longer? It's all in flux who's in charge. I might not be able to find somebody who's going to want a job not knowing who they're going to be answering to. So before you criticize and rip and tear apart, let's understand that this might be happening because of what John is going through.
And I hate to be the person who, in a time of something very serious about someone who matters a lot to a lot of people, would bring up themselves. But I do recall it was me on this same program, as much as 2 months ago or more, saying, don't be shocked if they barely do anything here because of exactly that. Yeah. There are things that are more important than football decisions. And the fact of the matter is when you don't know, and I would love if the Giants put out a statement and they told us, no, in fact, he doesn't look great, but he's going through it, and we think that he's going to be all right. That would be amazing. But since we don't know anything, you are forced to maybe assume that the primary issue here is making sure John is okay, and that's all they can worry about.
And I was listening to Michael, and I was listening to the morning show with Dave and Rick. Giants beat the Raiders. They beat the Cowboys. They're now going to pick fifth. They had the whole NFL by the you-know-what, first overall pick in the draft and all that. First of all, we weren't on the air. The three of us could have beat the Raiders that day. All right, so there was no tanking against the Raiders. Raiders stink. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you couldn't even try to. You could try to tank all you want.
Yeah, and they're
going to out tank you.
Right. It was a mess. And I still see value in Dart playing. You can't look veterans in the face and say we're going to start Russell Wilson against the Dallas Cowboys. It just doesn't work that way. But whatever. I'm not going to argue about tanking. But when I saw them give him the game ball, Allen, I said to myself, and Mara's been on record saying he would fire anybody that tanked. He does not believe in tanking. You wonder if that victory last night was for John. And as much as you hate not having the first overall pick, does that make it worth it? I don't want to be overly dramatic, but you know how I feel about tanking. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I love the fact the Giants beat the Cowboys. They've got their quarterback. I love the fact that Dart threw 2 touchdown passes on third down. I still think there's value to him growing as a quarterback, and sitting him for Russell Wilson to me would make me sick. And I don't know if anybody's going to be clamoring to give me a Herschel Walker deal for, Mendoza in the first overall pick in the draft. But I just think as we line up the calls at 1-800-919-3776 and we rip apart the Giants for another miserable season, we rip John Mara for keeping Shane and the complete dysfunction that completely and totally exists with this franchise, I just have a feeling that his illness is 100% the reason why Joe Shane still has a job.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot there, right? When you talk about the continuity part of it, they're going to have help at doing this search. But also, can we also acknowledge something too? The Giants need a stable leader in the organization. And that is usually the head coach. Like, we got to stop making Joe Schoen out to be the leader of the organization. He is not. He's an employee. He runs the front office. And the family, as we know, is involved in the front office. So there's enough influence there from the family that they know what's going on behind the scenes. But you still have to find somebody that will be the face of the franchise when it comes to the head coach at the podium every day talking. And, you know, we always talk about how much they've missed Tom Coughlin since he's gone, right? So while like guys like Jesse Minter, who's supposed to be like the next Minter, is supposed to be the next big hot, coordinator that everybody wants to hire as a head coach. And I don't know if a guy in 42 years old is the right guy to bring in. I think you got to bring an experienced guy. And so whether it's Joe Schoen, not that he's interviewing to see if I like you or not. I think it's more like we're making a presentation to see if we can get somebody to like us and want this. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Like, we got to stop thinking about it in the old way of, like, Joe Schoen's in charge and he's going to choose the coach. I think they're hoping that the right coach chooses them. That's what this is about.
And I wonder, too, Alan, since there has been no word.
And he's got to sell the franchise. This is all the things we have. This is what we've done. This is what we're doing in scouting. This is what we're planning on doing. Here's our roster. Here's our cap situation. Do you think that you could come here and get us on track? They just need to get a coach. Brian Daboll knows football, but he can't handle people. And he was too emotional to be in charge of everyone. He had grudges. He always took things personal. He had a problem with being a leader. They've got to find somebody that is a smart football guy that also can handle being the leader and not take things personal, not be emotional. That's why I personally, like, the minute Kevin Stefanski was fired by the Browns, that guy is exactly the guy you need. 6 years experience, 2-time coach of the year, has lived through some epic losing, has coached for an abomination of a franchise. Oh. Like, you don't think that guy can deal with a mess on a daily basis? He won't be overwhelmed. No. But when he's got talent, he showed you that he actually can. They can have success.
And Ian O'Connor has said that he's got the inside track.
Makes sense.
Ian's definitely somebody that has a pulse on it. You were talking about having a big boy in the room. This is what Darius Slayton said on who he'd like to see be the next head coach.
Somebody, that's Tom Coughlin-esque. I feel like, he brought a lot of things to this organization. I think it's no mistake why he won when he was here, was his personality and the way he went about his business. And I think it takes a certain type of person to be a head coach in New York. It's a tough job. Obviously comes with a lot of scrutiny, but, I think you need to have a certain disposition to get the job done effectively. I feel like he probably embodies a lot of the qualities that, we require now.
Was Slayton around for TC? Has he been here that long? How would he know?
I think he did catch the tail end. I got to take a look that up for me, Anthony, quick.
Yeah.
When his first year he might have crossed over.
That's pretty remarkable.
I'm just going back doing the math, right?
Yeah.
So this was 4 years of Daboll, so that 2019. So no, he would not have gotten Coughlin, but he probably saw, and I'm sure they talked about
right?
Coughlin,
Stefanski.
That I don't know. When Tom Coughlin got here, he had gone to championship games twice with Jacksonville, had some big college years in Boston College, and then, of course, he won Super Bowls with the Giants as a wide receiver coach, but not as a head coach. But that's what we're talking about, is just trying to bring in
right. But I just wanted to what I want to make clear is that we've got to stop looking at Joe Schoen in the prism of he's going to choose a coach.
And it would be,
I think he's a representative of the franchise in meeting coaches to see who is going to be interested in what we do and who thinks that they could help turn this around. And then we see, like, who has the best plan that fits what we're doing, and then you go from there.
Yeah.
This is not what you think. This is not a typical way to hire a coach. They're looking for somebody to take control of the franchise.
And is it possible, even though he is leading the charge, and I heard Michael talk about this in the open when I was driving here, about, well, obviously Shane's not going to interview somebody that is going to relieve him of his duties, right? But the reason I brought up no contract extension is that is it possible that you're going to help the search, but if we find somebody that doesn't want you, then you might be gone.
Yeah, but that guy doesn't exist.
Probably not, but just in case all of a sudden they decide to go to somebody who says, I love this job. I could take this job, but Joe Schoen, that doesn't seem like he's my guy.
Well, what happens there? So like John Harbaugh suddenly becomes available.
He could.
And then he just is like, if I'm coming, I'm bringing my people. And then you say, all right, fine. Like, is that like
didn't that happen with Cohen in Jacksonville?
It would take, I think so, yeah. It would take something significant to make that kind of move happen. But I don't.
Well, maybe that's just how they view this offseason, though. Is it's unlikely we're going to find the person that is the future of this franchise. We have a lot of stuff going on, so we're going to keep Schoen. If the right thing comes along, sorry, Shane's actually out. But it happens. We changed our mind. And I think that's all they can kind of do right now.
Why does it feel like we had this conversation?
I don't know. We had
12 months ago.
Oh,
it just feels like we just keep doing this.
Yeah, but now there's that lack of stability because of John's health, and you just wonder if Schoen is just coming back because they just don't want to add more chaos to the situation.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I wanted to open the show with the guys. Obviously, it's the biggest story of the day, but just file that in the back of your mind. I'm not telling you not to rip the Giants. They deserve to be ripped.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just wondering, when you add to all the dysfunction, is bringing Joe Schoen an act of that dysfunction, or is it an act of, we don't have many football people in the room right now.
Right.
John's going through it, and we all hope he comes out on the other side. But he's in his 70s. It's not a great situation for sure. 1-800-919-3776. Seth Rollins is going to be in studio coming up next. He's a huge football fan. What a time to be a Bears fan. What a time to be a football fan if you're not in New York. So we'll talk to him.
No, isn't it crazy, too? And we'll save this for the next segment because we want to talk to the people now about the Giants. But it's such an interesting playoff. Don, you and I got what we wanted. Parity is sort of dead. This year's wide open. Now, we still have the ego. I know. We know.
It sucks.
Alan loves greatness. He was just waiting for the Chiefs to run through everything again. He doesn't want to see anyone new and exciting pop up.
But I would like somebody to emerge that's like
Why?
somewhat
Just give me
competent.
somebody good, because right now
great games.
Every single team is flawed.
I don't love seeing an 8-9 team back into a division title.
Don, please, let's not pretend like it wasn't the NFC South. That's what they are, the 8-9 division. They invented it.
Let's rename the NFC South, or the AFC South.
AFC South has done their share too.
This year the NFC South is Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah,
that's how we describe it.
The league should just be the division should be called Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
It's
the Saturday afternoon of Thursday Night Football.
That is repug, and I could argue there shouldn't be as disgusted a fan base in football as the Tampa Bay Bucks fan base. They should be that. They handed that division away this year. Granted, I know they had injuries, etc. But I don't know. I'm excited to talk playoffs because there's so much. There's so many different random teams involved. I'm very excited about it.
Well, we'll find out in the Super Bowl when the trophy's raised, right?
Yeah.
But anytime the trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over. But on the ESPN app, it never really is, because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into, from college football playoff to all NBA action. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. All in season. Get all of ESPN, all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
All right, let's get to the busy phones. Peter in Bayonne gets us started here on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, man?
Happy New Year. I wish you all a good break. I just wanted to just go on your point, Don, regarding have an extra year with Joe Schoen and just specific on that. So I was trying to say, it's like Aaron Glenn. Why are we giving these coaches 5-year contracts, these massive contracts, so they could just, you're just giving them a golden parachute. Let them earn it. Give them why not give someone a rising star a 2-year contract? Give it to me, prove it, because it's just there's so much money being spent.
You want to tell him? Well, Peter, there's an easy answer to that. Because no agent would ever let his client take a job, especially at a place that has done nothing but lose for years, and not have some security in the job so that they have some time to get it right. That's just a reality. You wouldn't be able to hire anybody that has any ability.
And Peter, you're going to give him an extension, not because you feel he earned it, but if you're bringing him back, you can't have him be a lame duck general manager. How are you supposed to find a head coach? How are you supposed to hire free agents when they're going to ask you who's going to be the general manager in 2026 and 2027 and beyond? And why do you think the Jets gave a 5-year contract to Aaron Glenn? Because he probably wouldn't have taken anything less. He wouldn't have taken a job.
So he was told, ask for 5 years, because look at that place. They turn over so much. They're a mess that takes a couple of years to fix.
Right.
And that's why you want that 5-year deal. So you get, at best, 4 of those years.
That's it. And that's why. They didn't have any competition for Aaron Glenn. Nobody else was ringing his belt.
That is true.
He wasn't going to take the job for anything less. We'll get to the Jets in a little bit. Brett in East Hanover, you're on ESPN New York.
Hey, Don. Hope all's well. I don't think you guys are giving the Giants enough credit for how dysfunctional the decision they're making is. I'm trying to do this without being disrespectful. Health always is first and foremost, and I say that as somebody who lost their mother to cancer. But to have your organization in a position where you cannot make any decisions if one man is out of the office, it's an inexcusable way to run a franchise. It's organizational malpractice, as you guys like to say.
No question. And that came with the power that Mara wanted when they sold half of the franchise, that they still handled the football operations. Brett, I'm not defending it. I'm just trying to be sensitive to the situation, but I think that's why Shane is back. But you're 100%. We have Jordan Ron on a couple of weeks ago say that we're not sure what the plan is. They've got to file something to the league on what the plan is if John were to pass away. So there must be some sort of a plan, Brett, that we're not privy to. But you're right. It doesn't look good that they're forced maybe to keep a general manager because of this. You're 100% right.
What are they supposed to do?
What do you do at this point?
If there's another way to do it, what would that be?
I don't know. All I know is I'm 25 years old. I've been watching garbage football all my life. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. But they've killed me. I don't care anymore. I don't care 25. Who they hire. I don't care who they draft. I don't care what they do.
Wait. How?
None of it matters.
Wait a second.
What does it matter? They don't have the organization in place.
You're 25. You said.
So you were a conscious fan for a Super Bowl.
When you were a kid, it was the glory years for you, right?
I was 7 and 12 years old. I was barely old enough to appreciate it.
How about this, buddy? How about this, buddy? I was your age when my Redskins won 2 Super Bowls. 12. I'm 46, pal. We ain't sniffed it since.
Yeah,
you're doing all right.
I get the 7.
I feel your pain. I understand you're frustrated. But I also, again, everybody has the right to be pissed off right now because it's unacceptable, right? It is. It should be. But, again, what Don explained when it comes to the owner, whose family has owned this team since day one, is what do you do? Do you then fire everyone and have a independent company come in and help you find your next leadership? The Jets have done that for the last 10 years. Yeah. How's that worked out?
But can we agree on this, though? With maybe Brett, the caller, will feel we can agree on this. Maybe because we're being kind to John Mara, who deserves it.
We're supposed to hammer the franchise?
No, who deserves it. Maybe because we're being kind, he feels like we're separating these two things. In other words, feel free to be gentle with the Giants on this day when we're clearly aware that things are not great on this day, while also hammering that besides there may be justification for the lack of change right now because of what's going on. That doesn't justify the garbage they've been for the last decade.
No, it doesn't.
That's two separate things.
Right now situation is a right now situation, but it has nothing to do with what has led to this. But you have to understand that the right now situation is going this way. And if you can come up with a better way to do it, tell me.
Well, but
and by the way,
right.
Get his Mike some Cialis.
It would be nice if you had a plan B. Never mind cancer. You look what happened to the Biffle family a few weeks ago. Like, things happen. There has to be some sort of other plan, but I do think that these circumstances are definitely something to at least bring into the conversation where you're debating exactly why Joe Schoen is coming back. The great Seth Rollins coming up next in studio. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Take up until 6:30, then it's Knicks basketball on ESPN New York.
Hi, I'm John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. You know what's interesting about the words personal injury? The first word is person. And at D'Agostino & Associates, that word means everything. That's because I handpick every person in our firm, from the pleasant professional person who answers your call to the experienced person litigating your case in court. Because every person in my firm is an extension of me, and the only way to exceed our clients' expectations is to deliver the highest level of personal service every single time. And that starts with hiring the right people. You see, we know that every client is a person too. Someone going through the toughest time in their lives and deserves to be more than just a file number. At D'Agostino and Associates, we put the person back in personal injury. So call 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222 and ask for me, John D'Agostino. And let's talk about your case, person to person. D'Agostino, law, bite back.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Talk about stepping up. It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. We're going to start off in Jersey, Route 4 westbound. Not moving much. Looks like a crash over by Paramus Road in Paramus. Traffic is solid there from Route 17. Inbound George, no big delays for both the upper and lower decks. Heaviest ride to the outbound side. Cross Bronx westbound, packed from White Plains Road on through. Outbound Lincoln and Holland Tunnel's just about a 5 to 10 minute wait. Slow crawl on the BQE eastbound in Brooklyn. An accident in the left lane by Atlantic Avenue. Heavy ride there from the inbound Gowanus. Just a little bit sluggish on the Staten Island Expressway westbound, heading over to the West Shore. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Well, the PCA can help. It's a national nonprofit developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. More info at positivecoach.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That this music has provided great joy to mine and many other lives.
Don Hahn and Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak Pete.
We'll get to that in a moment.
We have a new nickname, everyone.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that, but you will not hear this music, sadly, tonight at the Barclays Center at Monday Night Raw, because the rightful man on the throne, Seth freaking Rollins, is still on the shelf. But Monday Night Raw at the Barclays Center tonight. Unreal is back on January 20th on Netflix, and Seth is here with us right now. Seth, are you and Becky like a big part of the new Unreal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's an ensemble cast, as it is with WWE, but I think both of our stories from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, I believe, seem to be major parts. I haven't seen any of it. They don't let us see any of it at all. So all I've seen is the preview that came out, I think, today or whatever, and maybe some additional footage or clips that they've put online. But that's it. But yeah, I think we're in. I mean, we did interviews and there were cameras and microphones.
Is it any different? You guys are already around cameras all the time. How much more does it put cameras around you? And for people who haven't seen it before, Unreal is a show that I have mixed feelings about, as all hardcore wrestling fans do, but I do really enjoy it. And if you're curious to see the inner workings of this insane business called the wrestling business, Unreal Season 1 is already up on Netflix and Season 2 is coming. It's a behind the scenes of the whole thing. It's lifting up the curtain more than we've ever seen in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So how much are they around you? Do they go home with you guys the whole nine?
Yeah, it's like Hard Knocks for WWE. So if you love the ins and outs of training camp and in-season Hard Knocks or whatever, it's just like that for WWE. I mean, but I'd say even more detail because WWE has always been super top secret. Professional wrestling in general, very much, kayfabe, protector of secrets, all that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, this just rips the curtain all the way back. And again, I'm with you, Pete. I'm super uncomfortable with it. To the point where I resisted. I didn't want anything to do with the first season. I'm like, keep me out of it. Don't put me in it. I didn't want to do anything in the second season. But they asked, and I said, look, there are some things that I want to protect and that I will protect. And if you cross those lines, we're going to have problems. But there are things that I'm okay with sharing. So if you want to talk about my family and my stories and stuff like that, and the real person behind Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, then we can get into all that stuff. So this show is going to make my daughter a star. 5-year-old Rue is all over this thing.
Awesome. Really?
From what I've seen, I mean, she was in the preview. She was on the preview. She's a star. So she's going to steal the show. But yeah, I think I don't. It's more because you don't know who's mic'd all the time, and we're at we're at WrestlePalooza, right? So we have this mixed tag team match, and there's just cameras all over the place, and there's just some things I don't want filmed. There's just some things I don't want you to see, and so because I think it kills the magic a little bit. I love the idea of peeling the curtain back and giving a fresh audience on Netflix an appreciation for what it is that we do, because I think it allows the audience to see that wrestling is an art form and it's not just a bunch of oafs and idiots bouncing around in a ring, that there's a real thought that goes into every single word that comes out of our mouths and every move that we do in the ring. So that's amazing. But I don't want to lose the magic. I don't want to lose the magic of
it's a very fine
wrestling.
line.
So yeah, it makes it a little more difficult. But again, I just raise an eyebrow at the crew, and they know when to put it away, and press the button, turn the microphone off, and I'll have my moments. So I try to walk that fine line. And maybe I'm too old school, but that's just how it is.
But that part of it, when you think about having your family part of it, that's probably where you're the most protective, right? Because once you open that up, it's open to the world.
Sort of, but I mean, wrestling's so weird because we're not like George Clooney, where they think of us as actors who play roles. We are our characters. So Seth Rollins is Colby Lopez is Seth Rollins. They're all the same thing, and so this is this different connection that our audience has to us that they don't have to actors who play roles in movies that they're obsessed with. It's there's a different type of fandom that comes along with it, and part of that is them appreciating who we are as people and attaching themselves to the well-being of our lives. So there's some lines I don't want to cross with my family, but I mean, my wife does it too. I do it. Our daughter is. We're all public. There's nothing, you can't hide all of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't buckle down on that too much. Didn't want the cameras in my house. There was that, but other than that, there's a lot. I think there's a lot that you'll see that, I think they're on the bus, and you see a lot of footage. I think they used some footage from when Rue, like right after Rue was just born. I think that we had filmed kind of on our own that we allowed them to have. So we'll see if that makes it in there. But yeah, I mean, I think we gave them a pretty candid look of.
In other words, listen, don't get me wrong. Seth wants to protect his family, but he really wants to protect the wrestling business.
I really want to protect my stories, you know? Yeah. Like I'm trying to provide a life for my daughter, and the way I do that is by making money, and the way I make money is to make people care about my fights.
That's right.
And you said she's 5?
She's 5 now. Yeah.
So my twins are 8. So they're starting to understand what I do.
Yeah.
Does she completely understand what you're doing yet?
No, definitely doesn't completely get it. She has no idea. You know, like not no idea because she's been with us on the road for years. Like,
everybody's parents wrestle.
Yeah, now that she's that's the thing is that's the one thing she doesn't get is that not everybody's parents are in video games. Not everybody's parents have little dolls that look like them. That's weird to her now. She's starting to figure that out at school. Like Dante's mom doesn't have an action figure. So. Nothing against Dante's mom. She's awesome.
No, I'm sure she's great.
Yeah, so she's figuring it out a little bit, you know, what we do and that we're on TV. And she's, now that I'm off, I'm watching Raw every week to see what Becky's doing, and she's seeing Mom and like, is that Mama right now? Is she on right now? So like she's kind of understanding the live aspect versus the tape aspect. It's all a work in progress, but I'm sure she'll be smart to it soon enough.
Well, it was funny, I think I told you guys, we talked about it quite a bit. When Seth had the, quote, injury that was going to keep him out of SummerSlam. And, I had dinner with him the night before he came back. And he shows up to the restaurant, lovely restaurant in New Jersey we went to. It was delightful.
Great.
I meant to shout them out, and I've forgotten the name of them, but they were great. And he shows up on crutches. And like one of the things I love about my role at WWE is I still get to be a fan. I'm like, I don't ask inner workings stuff. I just sit there and observe it like everybody else. But I have to admit, when I saw him come in a restaurant with like 8 people there with crutches and sits down and has a whole meal with us, no part of me thought there was a chance that he was going to come back and win the championship the next night. And that's sort of that line of magic that he's talking about, of like, even if you're close to it. The next day, freaked out. Like I was sitting at the desk where we do the post show with one of Seth's good friends, my colleague Big E, and we're sitting there watching, and E goes, I think Seth's coming back. And he's a former champion, former wrestler, but now he's just a fan too. He doesn't ask questions. Yeah. He goes, I think Seth's coming back. And I was like, I think I'm so cool. I'm like, E, sorry, buddy, I know he's your friend, but had dinner with him last night. Don't think he's coming back. And Big E was like, so? And I'm like, well, he had crutches at the restaurant. Big E's like, so? And I was like, oh my God, could he come back? So like that is, and how proud were you of the secret getting kept that well? Because in this era, we don't have moments like that where the whole world is completely fooled.
And the thing is, I don't think you can like fully fool everybody anymore. You can't pull the wool over everybody's eyes. But the magic now for us is being able to just plant that seed of doubt, where people start to ask questions. And some people, you and E were perfect examples. E fully expected a return, and you were like, absolutely not. And that's what we had, I think, going into SummerSlam, is this question of, is it totally out of people's minds? There's no chance that it's going to happen? And some people were convinced it was going to happen, but some people just didn't know. And that gray area is what makes wrestling magic, because it's this place where anything can happen, and you can feel like the magic of a surprise that you just can't get in any other form of storytelling.
Although I will say, your Chicago Bears this year have provided a lot of magic. How much can you describe, and I feel bad for the Giants and Jets fans listening today after another season ends of complete and utter misery.
Sorry, New York. Sorry.
But like, what number 1 to 10 can you put the level of joy the Bears have brought you this year?
I mean, it's been an 11, a 12. I mean, we're off the charts at this point. I mean, I'm so excited to feel like for the first time, and really in my adult life as a Bears fan, I'm like, we got it. Like, we've got it right. We've got a coach, and we've got a quarterback, and we've got a team that can compete in this division for a decade. And that is I've never felt that way. I mean, the first Nagy year with Trubisky maybe was close, but that was still.
You knew that Trubisky was still.
You weren't sure.
You weren't
sure.
But what you're doing right now, and again, I God bless you, because I know as a Bears fan you've been through it, right? Because there's certain fan bases where you're like, dude, you were bad for 2 years. Calm down. Like any Patriots fan right now.
Oh,
Don't talk to me. But you've been through it. But you sound so much like Pipsqueak Pete last year. Only a year ago, he had the quarterback. We got the coach. We finally got it. And then
things happen.
Right. Things happen.
But I still believe
so you got to feel like if you're going to hit, it's got to hit. Like you got to hit now.
Yeah. That is
so
a great
wide
point.
open.
That's a great point.
Right?
You're not going to get a better year.
Oh, it's right there.
To maybe do this. Like, it won't be easier next year.
No, it won't be easier next year, but you have – so the Jaden Daniels' skill set, if we're going to go talk about the Commanders for a minute, his skill set wasn't diminished this year. That wasn't the issue, right? The issue is that he couldn't stay healthy. That was the issue. So that is a non-issue with Caleb Williams, and you saw him take a huge leap with Ben Johnson in that scheme, in that offense from year 1 to year 2. So I have no reason to suspect that year 3 is going to be worse. It might be more difficult, sure, but it also might be easier because he's becoming more and more efficient, and he's a guy that just he doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, and he doesn't turn the ball over. He just doesn't do it. And for a young quarterback, that's an incredible thing to have. And as you see his efficiency and this offense start to come together.
And the connection with the coach.
And the connection with the coach.
Key.
That's
the Ben
key.
Johnson aspect of this thing is big. Now, I have to ask you, though, because for me as a suffering Jets fan,
pain.
and so many
That's
people.
Pain. That's deep pain.
You had Justin Fields.
Brutal.
And he wound up with the Jets, and there was a sense this year of, they can get him right. That the Bears gave up on him because they got the number 1 pick, and Pittsburgh gave up on him because they went through everything and they got right. Like, this is going to work. It's going to hit. When do you even pay attention to Justin Fields? Do you watch it all? And did you watch this year and go, see, like everybody keeps believing in him, but we saw that.
I was a Justin Fields guy in Chicago because I watched him slowly get better in the few years that he was there, and the team was competitive in the final season before he was gone.
Right.
And it was tricky because we had Matt Eberflus, who was a head coach, and probably not built as a head coach, better as a DC. We'll see if he survives that in Dallas. But at the end of the day, like, you saw little increments of Justin, and Justin he could make explosive plays with his legs. Now, obviously, passing on time from the pocket was his big issue.
Big.
And
That's it.
You were like, if you get him in the right situation, it could happen. And I remember thinking when they got rid of Eberflus, I was like, if you're going to fire the coach and bring in somebody new, you just got to get rid of all of it. You got to be done with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was a little – I felt good because the Bears were getting better season by season. And then I was like, if we get a rookie, it's going to go backwards. But once I saw the skill set that Caleb brought to the table, even in his first year where he's taking a bunch of sacks, I was like, oh, this is going to be the guy. Then they get rid of Eberflus, and I'm like, okay, if we can get somebody in there, what Justin Fields needs, and look, maybe he just doesn't have it. Maybe he's just not a starting quarterback in the NFL. You just go put him in, like, L.A. with McVay for like a year or two. You know what I mean? Let him back up.
Back up Kansas City. Back up in with the Rams.
Yes.
Like,
A place that gets it.
San Francisco. All the places that bad quarterbacks go to get good.
Yes.
Green Bay.
Yes.
Right. Malik Willis now all of a sudden looks functional. So I'm wondering, you're right, but I don't know if you can teach him at this point the accuracy part.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the killer.
Well, he just doesn't play on time. He just does not play on time in the pocket, and that's it. He can't make the easy throws.
Yep.
And everything.
But he has a big arm,
he's
too.
Got a huge
That's
arm.
the skill set on both sides is so high. That's what's I believed. Don and I were both of the, like, Justin Fields has there's a ceiling here.
You remember the kid from the Colts, Richardson. He threw 70 yards on his knees.
Yeah.
Sure.
So what?
But Anthony Richardson and Justin Fields are two different. Justin Fields was one of the highest-ranked quarterback prospects in history of that statistic. Him and Trevor Lawrence were like 1-2. And you saw all the struggles that Trevor Lawrence had until he got Liam Cohen. And the second half of this season, he played MVP football. If he played like that for a few more weeks, he'd be up there with Stafford. He'd be up there with Drake May.
I felt like when the Jets got him because he was 26, I'm like, that's kind of like a draft pick adjacent.
Right.
And I'm of the belief that all of these quarterbacks are kind of the same. It just depends on who drafts you and who coaches you. And Fields looks like a kid that's just broken now.
Yeah, I know. And that's sad because he seems like a nice kid and a good kid with, like you said, Pete, a huge ceiling. Like
you just see it. I remember his rookie year I saw it.
Yeah, we definitely didn't see the complete turn that it took this season with the Jets.
For you guys
now,
in New York, man. God.
Oh, it's bad.
My heart breaks for you.
Yeah, I could see.
Giants and Jets. I feel that pain.
Now, but you saw this coming. We were talking off the air. You had told Rich Eisen that this is the exact record they were going to have.
I predicted the Chicago Bears, I believe, to finish the season at 12-5.
I can't believe you.
Isn't that crazy?
And it was crazy because
they win the North.
Well, and they took the Commanders' season.
Yeah.
Like I feel like something weird happened because like the Commanders killed the Bears last year. The Hail Mary killed the season. That was the end of the Bears season last year.
They lost.
And if you recall,
10 games.
The Commanders were one snap this year from kneeling on the ball to go to 4-2.
Yep.
Instead, the ball on a wet night in D.C. slips out of Daniel's hands. The Bears win the game. Commanders complete. I'm telling you, it's a weird karmic thing. And now the Bears have been on fire since that game.
Yeah, I think they were like 1-2 coming into that game because it was like week 4 or something like that. They lost their first 2 games. Heartbreaker to Minnesota, get blown out by Detroit. They come back and win. I don't remember, against a crappy like Raiders team or something like that, maybe, which was on like a blocked field goal or something. And then
you have a moment like that.
Yeah, and then that happens, and then they just went boom. And then every week it was cardiac Bears. Every week, come back, Caleb in the fourth quarter. It was insane the amount of close finishes. Even in these last 2 weeks, they get beat by San Francisco, beat by Detroit. It comes down to the final play. It's been a crazy season to be a Bears fan.
You down to hang for one more segment?
Yeah, of course.
All right, Seth's going to stay. I want to dig in a little bit more to the rest of the play. We haven't even mentioned the playoffs are set, so I want to get into that a little bit as well. Seth Rollins is here, WWE Raw tonight, the season premiere on Netflix at the Barclays Center. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
St. John's looks to get back on track in Big East play on the road against Butler. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery Rankings.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your 6 figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope. It's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Yes, tonight, Barclays Center, The season premiere of Raw. It's also a collaboration with Stranger Things, if that means anything to you. We're going to enter the Upside Down, apparently.
I will not be in the Upside Down.
Seth Rollins, turn on your microphone. Turn it there. Seth, your mic's on.
Oh, wait,
you will not enter the Upside Down tonight?
I will not be in the Upside Down. No.
There will be no appearance for Seth Rollins.
No, not at all. Zero. I'll be backstage rooting on my wife.
You were, by the way, you were backstage at John Cena's.
I was.
Final thing.
John is a good friend, and I went there to support him.
But you didn't go out on camera.
No.
You stayed backstage.
Yes. It's not for me. That's not why I was there.
Right. You just wanted to, and it was very interesting. I observed this. John noticed you guys being there. He only saw that you guys were there moments before his match.
We only got there moments before his match. We flew in, but it was insane. We had delays, traffic getting into D.C. It was nuts, so we didn't even get there till like 7:30 or something like that.
So you guys only went there to just support him and see the last moment.
That's it. I love John as a person. John's been an incredible friend to me. Like, he's still a great friend to me. He's going to be for the rest of my life. So I just went there to be like, hey man, I love you, and thank you.
From day one, when you got there, John always looked out, was always a supportive.
Yeah, 100%. He was a guy that, it took me warming myself up to him. I was like, look, when I came in, I was a young guy full of, I don't know if I can say piss and vinegar. But
no, that
whatever.
sure can. Yeah, you said it.
I was like, I want to change everything, and I want to tear down the top of the card. And, John Cena was the top dog there, and I had no appreciation for what John did for the business and what he did for the company. And John was so patient with me and understanding and appreciating that attitude that I wanted to come in and be the top guy, that he understood, there was going to be some push and pull there. And at the end of the day, I would win him over, or he would win me over, however you want to slice it. But he was super generous with his time. I have some great stories about John, but he's always been an incredible friend. And, he's done more for the business in the last 20 years than anybody.
Fair point. And you are, like all the wrestlers I've spoken to, a fan of how it all ended.
Yeah, of course.
You guys all are the same. Every one of you, that you loved it.
You wouldn't be asking this question if there was no controversy to the ending. If he had just won the match.
No, he couldn't have won the match.
No, not win. But I guess tapping out for a guy that never gave up.
That was the part.
That's the only question.
Yeah.
Look at you, Don.
That part. So I can understand that. I can understand that. But in our line of work, it's always about what's going to be the most talked about thing we can do. And I think John did it with a smile on his face. It didn't feel like he was like, oh, I have been beaten into submission. It was like, I'm happy with this. This is my time.
And you're good with it.
I'm good with it. 100% good with it.
The boys loved it.
And my brother Dave over at Sirius.
Delulu Dave LaGreca.
Delulu
Right.
Dave. I know Dave.
You're going to be on his show tomorrow. And he was a big sports fan. Now he's all in on the wrestling with the channel and everything that's going on. And he had told me, he's like, take a look at other athletes in other sports and how they're now kind of becoming wrestlers. It's almost like in the media they're doing promos. Are you seeing, as a sports fan, do you see a lot of theatrics in wrestling in professional sports outside of wrestling?
Go back to Muhammad Ali. That's where he got it from. You know what I mean? He used to watch Gorgeous George promos, and that's where he got, all the pomp and circumstance. He understood that that's how you promote anything. That's how you sell anything. I see it in other sports. I see it in entertainment. I see it in politics, for better or worse. And so it's just a part of what we do. All of us are, and most of us, I should say, we're trained salesmen. It's what we have to do from start to finish, whether it's a grassroots level or on a big stage. And so we've always had to figure out how to self-promote. And so I see it everywhere. And now, I'm helping host Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, and I get a chance to kind of bring that to that world. And I see other athletes who are like, oh, wow, this energy is different. This energy that, I'm not going to bring the analytics. Like, I'm not a guy that's going to give you X's and O's, but I'll give you energy, and I'll give you some, the good, fun, hot takes that we can talk about. But that's one thing that I noticed, that, like, people like Manti Te'o, or I was with Brandon Marshall on the Netflix show, like, these guys are like, they vibe off that energy, They can talk X's. Brandon Marshall, one of the greatest receivers of all time, he can tell you everything about cover 2s and cover 4s, but that can get boring. You need to do it with some pizzazz sometimes. You need to fire some things up. And so, yeah, I do see that. It's always been that way. It'll always be that way. And the best athletes, wherever they're at, from Ali to McGregor, they're going to promote themselves, they're going to promote their sport, and they're going to promote their conflict.
How many big wrestling fans are there on the Bears, and how happy secretly do you get when any of the Bears mark out because they see you?
I'll tell you what happened when I went. So I was in Chicago for the last Bears-Packers game, the one that was just insane.
Yes. Oh, that was a hell of a game.
And there were two moments. I'm in the suite, somewhere in the second or third quarter, and Kevin Warren, the Bears president, comes right up to me, shakes my hand. I'm in the middle of introducing myself, and he's like, "Oh, I know who you are." And I was like,
"Wow, that's the Bears
president."
Pretty
sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The better one, though. This was the better one for me. I'm on the sideline pregame. The Bears are coming out. The crowd's going nuts. Ben Johnson, who I've never met or spoken to, he's probably, 30 feet away from me as he's going by. But for whatever reason, he just looks over and sees me in the mix of, I'm talking to, my wife's there. I took my mom and my daughter are there, whoever, and we're talking to some people. And he just sees me and we make eye contact and he just gives me this point.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, that's my guy. And I'd never met the guy. I didn't know he knew who I was, but it is very cool. It is very cool I feel very fortunate to be able to talk about a thing that I love and to be able to help, give that fandom to the world and that excitement
you're also
to the city of Chicago.
You're becoming one of the marquee Bears fans.
There we go.
You could be like Kevin Hart.
Me in.
Remember when the Eagles won in 2017
yes.
and Kevin Hart was drunk on the field after the game?
I would love to be drunk on the field after the game in Santa Clara in February.
That would be amazing. Now,
that will be me.
So Saturday, the Bears host the Packers. We could get into a conversation, guys, on best opening wild card night games of all time.
Baby.
Packers at the Bears. Bears 1.5-point favorites.
Bears are underdogs, sir. Read that right.
No, you're not.
No.
Not as of right now.
Did they change it?
Chicago is on ESPN. You could tell me what the other websites say, but on ESPN, it says Chicago minus 1.5.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take that. I'm shocked by that, actually.
So you're minus 1.5, 8 o'clock. It'll be, frozen tundra. It's going to be
frozen.
It's going to be incredible.
Lake Michigan, it's going to be awful.
How do you not as a fan, but as a guy
gloriously awful.
Yeah.
As a guy who just knows football. Are you going, by the way?
I am going to go.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you like you guys in this game?
I do. I'm very nervous about it because of the way the defense has played the last 2 weeks. But if you look back at this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to it. The last two matchups this season, they've both been pretty close. Green Bay had dominated a little bit in the first part of the first game, but obviously the Bears made it close. Second game, sort of a stalemate. And Jordan Love, he got knocked out, and people make a big deal of that. I actually thought Malik Willis was a tougher matchup for Chicago than Jordan Love was. They were kicking field goals. It wasn't a big deal. The Bears have to figure out how to get that offense moving before the fourth quarter. That's going to be the key for me in this game. Defense is going to play tough. It's going to be cold as hell. It's going to be how can you run the ball? And you run the ball, and you have to get points early. You cannot play this game of catch-up and expect to win. So I feel good about it only because we're at home, but it's still,
Is Love 100%, by the way? He's good, right?
I think so.
I think he's now 100%. Right?
I don't
think
think
another week.
No, he's going to play.
It's been a few weeks.
It wasn't a bad concussion, I don't think.
Right.
Anyway.
They just let him take extra time.
Yeah. They were already locked into the seventh spot. It wasn't.
I know they redid Soldier Field. Does it still have the same old vibe to it?
It's still got a great vibe. Yeah. I know they're trying to move the team out to Indiana or whatever they're doing, but it is wacky, the whole thing. And I understand it from a logistical standpoint. It's on the lake, so it's awful to get in and out of if you've ever been there or not. But it's awful to get in and out of. But man, it just feels so good. It feels like football. I love it there. I love the vibe. I love the atmosphere. The city's right there. The view's amazing. It's a hell of a stadium.
And then just having a dome also would change things too, right?
Yeah.
There's something that's not right.
I know
about that. Monsters of Midway,
but I'd love to have a WrestleMania there. So
I can't believe
that is true.
Oh wow,
that is true.
Yeah. I can't believe that this is the third time only that they've met in the playoffs?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Ever. They've been around for 100 million years, and they've only faced. It also tells you just how bad both have been at different times.
No, it's true. Because the other thing that always blew me away, I tell these guys too, like Dick Butkus, right? Never played a postseason game.
That's crazy.
Right?
Doesn't
but
make
you
sense.
think everybody knows he's a household name.
Right.
Yeah.
Never, because they were bad for a long time.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, it goes in cycles, right? The Bears are good, the Packers are bad. They're very rarely good at the same time.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years of great Packers teams, and so that's only trying to turn that clock.
There you go.
Let's go.
No, it's going to be a fun one. Plus, you have 49ers Eagles on Sunday, which
That's
is
a good one.
Pretty fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
The whole weekend.
The whole weekend's
It
pretty
usually
solid.
is, though, wall to wall.
Well, there's only one.
Wildcard
There's only
weekend,
one.
yeah.
There's only one.
Yeah.
Smells like a Thursday.
We
game.
know.
And that's of course the Panthers hosting the Rams.
They played once this season.
And what happened in that game?
The Rams lost.
That's right.
So that gives it some appeal. And the Rams on the road are not the same as the Rams in Los Angeles.
That's correct.
Although
I believe
they did
the Rams lost in Carolina, right? Wasn't that was early in the season.
I'm not sure about where it was at.
I thought it was at Carolina.
I
Because
do
Carolina
know-
was good at home.
I do know Carolina won the game.
Yep.
And so there's something there. I don't know.
It was at the Panthers.
How healthy is
I
Devontae
know because
Adams?
it cost me.
It was 31-28 Panthers in Carolina when they first played. But I have to admit, I did find it weird that the Eagles totally gave away yesterday. Like, Don, we always talk about draft picks. It's one thing to give things up when it comes to draft picks. It's another thing when it's still about who you're going to play in the playoffs. I thought that was a weird decision by Sirianni to not worry. But I wouldn't want San Francisco. Sorry, I'd like staying away from teams who have a history of just winning playoff games.
Yeah.
Those are the teams I want to avoid assiduously, right? And it may be the problem that you guys have, although this iteration of the Packers hasn't won a whole lot of playoff games.
No.
Tonight, Raw at the Barclays Center, and
You're
on the
banned.
20th, well, yeah. Oh, so
You're not
out.
Don brought it up at the beginning of the show. Seth's beautiful wife,
Amazing wife. Perfect.
she tweeted yesterday. Here's at Becky Lynch WWE. I have asked my lawyers to ensure crooked reporters and so-called wrestling media be barred from Barclays Center tomorrow. Awful Ariel Helwani, Scam Roberts, Delulu Dave LaGreca, and Pipsqueak Peter Rosenberg are not welcome. Marvelous Megan Morant, who has pledged her loyalty to me as a Becky believer, is the only news source the WWE Universe can trust.
Respect.
So I have been banned from the arena, but I still may show up. We'll see. If not, I'll watch it on.
He's right about the politic comparison.
Be careful not to get arrested.
You're sensing something there. You're sensing something.
All caps. And
A lot of caps, a lot of parentheses. I'm excited. Becky has a championship match tonight.
She does. She is going to regain possession of her rightful Intercontinental Championship.
That's right.
She has been screwed out of it, and now she's going to repossess it tonight.
And if you want to see more of Becky and Seth, the new season of WWE Unreal comes to Netflix on the 20th. Seth, you're always welcome. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Good times, man.
More DHR next, right here on ESPN New York.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hi, this is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. I've talked about how a construction accident took my father's leg. The heavy prosthetic he wore looked nothing like the high-tech limbs we have today. It was crude wood and metal, held together by bolts that dug into his skin and left painful ulcers. But the thing I remember about my dad is how he never complained. He put on his prosthetic leg and he went to work. He coached my baseball teams, danced, sang karaoke, and even loved to travel. He may have limped, but he always held his head up high and he lived with dignity. At D'Agostino & Associates, I spent over 35 years building a law firm that helps accident victims and those in need of their Social Security disability benefits. We fight till our clients get the money and dignity they deserve. So call us today at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey. So don't tell me personal injuries aren't personal. I know what they can cost a family. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. D'Agostino Law. Bite back.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Listen up.
It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
.405 at the big city. Don on and Rosenberg with you till 6:30. Then the Knicks. Rangers are going to be on 10:50.
It's a big Knicks game tonight.
No joke.
After
Seriously.
everything that's going on, yeah. This is one of those you got to get right games, because you lose this one, that's when the doubt starts to creep in on the outside. I don't think it will on the inside, but on the outside it will start to creep in.
Yeah, a little bit. That was a tough Spurs loss.
That was a good game. A guy just had a detonated. I mean, Champagny just went crazy. That. I'll give you that. The 2 at home, Friday, Saturday, that's red flags.
We got a binge coming up at 4:30. ENN at 6. Throw the Jets into it. I've defended Aaron Glenn. He's not going to get fired. He's got 4 years left on his contract. Not going anywhere.
He's not getting fired now.
But what I will say is this. You better hope they were tanking. Because if they were trying to win the last 5 games, that's embarrassing. So, I don't know. I got no inside dope. But it didn't sound like anybody was trying at all. I mean, Mitch Trubisky lit you up yesterday. And to have an entire year with no interceptions. We've all watched a lot of football, and we've seen the greatest quarterbacks in the world have a ball go off of somebody's helmet.
Yeah.
Get deflected at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Just, end up in somebody's arm. 17 games without an interception. You can't make it up.
It's incredible.
Turnovers in the whole season.
No.
It's 4. That's it.
Hold on, I got to look up some things here.
These things don't make sense. Samini had an unbelievable stat. They trailed by double digits 53% of the time. What?
Wait, by double digits?
By double digits. 53% of the time. You're not just bad. You're historically bad when that's happening.
That is.
And that's including games early in the season that had some, that first game of the season. There was a couple of games early on. But it's just really bad. It's a bad look. And all you have now, because you don't really know about Aaron Glenn, you have no idea. Wow. You can make a case that he's not a good coach. I don't know how you can make a case either way, right? I don't think you know anything yet. But I can tell you that you're going to know about Darren Muji by April. Because this is now in his office. Aaron Glenn's now in the past. He's done. He had his press conference last night. Sounded a lot like Robert Saleh, keeping receipts. all that stuff. It's rinse repeat when it comes to end of season podium by the head coach stuff in Jets. I can't even listen to it anymore. But Darren Mucci did something at the trade deadline that caught my attention. And now it's like, okay, it's in your office now, from now until April. What are you going to do with this roster so that the coach can be properly identified, whether or not he is or is not a good coach? What are you going to do at the quarterback position? The biggest game of the Jets season is Friday. Peach Bowl. Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
Like that. You have the number 2 pick.
Mendoza is a handful, buddy.
There's
a lot
for
that guy to be my quarterback, it better be Joe friggin' Montana.
Right.
Yeah.
If he's not literally, he better be gone.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't take him.
Yeah.
I mean, every post-game time he talks, I go, is this a human? Is he AI?
He smiles like he's on gummies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't even know what
gummy smile.
Yeah, no. If gummies were made with cocaine,
he's
just
Mahomes on cocaine.
Gigantic smile.
Like from an irritation standpoint, it's like,
yeah. Now, real quick, you brought up the turnover thing. So I just pulled up the team defense stats.
Okay.
I just am curious.
Am I wrong?
So the best differential is the Chicago Bears. Seth Rollins, Chicago Bears. They're plus 22 overall.
Wow.
And what does that amount to? Let's not worry about, he already said Caleb doesn't turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. They had 23 interceptions. 23 interceptions and 10 fumbles. Good for 33 takeaways.
Wow.
That's what it takes to be the best defensive takeaway unit in the league.
And nobody was asking the Jets to be that.
No!
But,
just be capable, be competent. This was supposed to be the strength of the team defense. Am I wrong?
They were dead last at minus 19.
19.
And as you said, 0 interceptions and 4 fumbles. The next worst were my Commanders, who still managed 8 interceptions.
Wait, though, in a way, does this sound crazy? They only had 4 turnovers, right?
Yeah.
And they were minus 19. Is that bad?
Good sign for their offense. They should have been minus 40.
As bad as the right.
He didn't exactly, chuck the ball down.
Yeah, considering Justin Fields did not throw the ball beyond 6 yards.
They had an undrafted rookie starting the last 4 or 5 games of the season. You would think that, regardless, I probably shouldn't even bothered. I was trying to find a silver lining. But we all know the team was god-awful. They were bad. They don't have any culture changers in that room, right? Can we all agree?
We agree.
They don't
any culture changers. No.
Somebody who is going to who's the leader? Who's the voice? Who's anything in that locker room? Nobody.
I don't know. Does Garrett have a voice?
He's not that guy.
But he's not that guy.
He's super talented, but he's not that guy.
He's not that guy.
They don't have anybody that is just sort of the rah-rah rally around. I mean, my God, like anything in the realm of Ray Lewis, right? They don't have anything.
No.
So they've got to find that.
Realm of Ray Lewis.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm trying to
They don't have the realm
I'm trying to use
Huey Lewis.
Huey.
They don't have anyone.
Jerry Lewis.
There's no Jerry Lewis.
At least he can make people laugh in the room.
Oh, Carl Lewis. Somebody, for God's sake.
At least he's fast. But I'm saying, give an example of somebody that was a culture changer.
The
Came
ultimate.
in and he was the face. This is who we are. They don't have that. And so they've got to not only find a quarterback, they got to find that too. A player who is just sort of the one that holds up the standard, that doesn't allow it to collapse. And the problem with the Jets is there's no backbone in that organization. So it's on Darren Mucci now. This is all that matters now is him. Stop talking about Aaron Glenn. That's in the past. He's not getting fired, so he's coming back. And we can judge him next year better when he's got a roster that this man, this general manager, with some of the assets he collected by the trade deadline, has the ability to rework this roster and make it better.
But
can he?
What I asked, and again, we'll take your calls, 1-800-919-3776 on both the Jets and the Giants. We've got a binge coming up at 4:30 and then ENN at 6, is that what I wanted to see, because you're probably going to have to go out and try to get a veteran quarterback, although now you might draft, depending on if more comes out or not. We'll see. He hasn't declared yet, and if he doesn't want to be a Jet,
well, you see some of the talk is that if the Raiders tell him they probably won't take him number 1, he'll probably stay avoid going to the Jets because he's not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready.
He needs more experience.
And this is where quarterbacks go to die. If you're not ready, you'll never get ready with the Jets. I said, so let's take a look at how the Jets are perceived under Aaron Glenn the rest of the way. After the deal, they showed up. They won 3 out of 5 games. They were competitive. They were in games. But those last 5 games, guys,
looked awful. The
last 5 games of their season. Again, just tell me you're tanking. Then I can understand it. 34-10 to the Dolphins, 48-20 at Jacksonville, 29-8 to the Saints, 42-10 to New England, and a Bills team that didn't care yesterday. Trubisky was their starting quarterback, 35-8. So please tell me that they were tanking, because if they weren't, and you legitimately had a coach trying to win games, that does not reflect well. And if I'm a player, if I'm someone, do I want to join this organization? The answer is going to be probably no.
It can't be. It can't be. It just can't. But now, so we look forward. They have the 2nd pick and the 15th pick, right?
Yeah.
They don't, like, they missed the number 1 pick by an inch, but that would have been their opportunity to say, okay, we can get a quarterback. I don't know if at 2 you're getting that guy.
No.
And if whoever you take, if you do take a quarterback, even if it's more, you have to have somebody veteran that can give you a year at worst, if not 2, because whoever you're getting is just not going to be ready. And with this organization, it'll be. We've already seen this with Zach Wilson. Franchise malpractice, what they did with him. Took him at number 2. Didn't have a capable veteran backup. Remember they brought in Flacco? Because they finally realized, like, this kid's over his head. And their backup options were not legitimate backup options.
Right.
It was so that they put him in such a poor situation, he would never had a chance. You can't do it again. So where are you going to go? Kirk Cousins? I mean, do you go – we talked about Malik Willis, and he looked pretty good in some of those games with the Packers. He's an unrestricted free agent. Do you go in that direction? Right? Like, he actually looked – this is a high pick that was decent but overwhelmed young, and maybe they developed. Where else you going? Kyler Murray? 2 years and a ton of money left on his deal?
That's a lot of money to take a shot.
Phoenix just fired Gannon, so they might blow the whole thing up. You never know.
Kyler's the exact kind of person I'd be interested in if you could get him like you got Justin Fields.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
But you're not getting that.
You have to trade for him, and it's, you get help, but he's got a ton left, 2 years. Now, do you watch what happens? I told you, here's the dream scenario. Here's the one where, this is Bubanj, right? It's the Joe Burrow we've already done. We've already played that reindeer game.
Yeah.
Which, who knows what's going to happen with him in Cincinnati. Curious to see what his mood is now that the season's over. And then there's, if you were paying attention during the last 2 weeks, there was a lot of stuff coming out of Baltimore about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
and
what?
It wasn't positive.
Yeah, what? But is there anything to that?
The guy that wrote it was one of, this guy's covered the team for a long time.
I don't know. I bet that it's not all true. And if you were able to bet on stories like that, I'd do it at FanDuel. Because FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Ride with the favorite, take a shot at the underdog, or build a parlay, then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel is the best place to get into the football action all playoff long, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly, all right? So visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college playoff profit boost today. That's right, Don. FanDuel.com/local. Head over there right now. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
That was very well done. Let's go to the phones.
Thank you.
Rick in Neptune. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Rick?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Before I get to my sports misery, I always say, thank God I'm a wrestling fan, because when sports lets me down, wrestling never seems to. And I'm going to the Barclays Center tonight. Very excited. And how great is Seth Rollins, guys? He is such a great guest on your show.
Dude, he couldn't be better to me. Because he's interesting when he talks about wrestling. I think if you're not a fan, he's just a good enough communicator to make it interesting. And then, he's not one of these guys who's like, I'm a fan of sports, sure. No, he's like...
No, he knew.
Oh, no.
During the break, he's legit.
We had
super legit.
We had some back and forth during the break.
Yeah, it was good.
Where I was like, just, how you just want to, test it out? All right, what is he? Is he just like one of these like fans, or is he? And it was great. He was great.
No, I got news for you.
He knows the NFL.
I got news
really
for you.
well.
When it comes to the NFL, he could test us out. He's the real deal.
He knows the league for sure.
What do you got, Rick?
I just wanted to just voice my frustration. Especially with the Giants. They put us in this unique position where, they just had all these devastating losses every week, man. I root for this team to win. They let you down in the fourth quarter, and they put us in this unique position where it's like, all right, well, if you lose, at least you get the number 1 draft pick. I can't remember a time where I was actually upset because it's been so long since we beat the Cowboys, and I feel like we lost. It was just such a defeating feeling. And then Don, I'm like, all right, this stinks. At least I got the Devils tonight. This is, hopefully they could improve my mood. And, for Luke Hughes to put the puck in his own net twice, it's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. But I really do not like my fellow Devil fans booing him every time he had the puck, though.
Yeah, that
was not cool. You still got to support he's having a terrible game, and we're all frustrated with him. But you can't boo the guy every time he has the puck. I thought that was. I was
thought
really
that was
ashamed
a bit
of the
much,
Devil
Rick.
fans for that.
Yeah, I brought it up during the broadcast that they're really letting him have it, and Kenny wasn't thrilled. Neither was Bryce. And they talked about it in the post-game show with Mike Rupp. Listen, you're entitled to boo the situation. All right, when you give up a goal, you want to boo, but the Hughes brothers are so important to this organization, and I said it on the air. As bad as you feel about it, Luke felt 10 times worse than you do about it. Mm-hmm. But I'll circle back to this. Yeah, those are 2 bad goals to give up. Did you really think you were going to beat the Carolina Hurricanes 1-0? You had 4 straight power plays when the game was tied or down 1, where you could have maybe won the game and didn't. Yeah, 1 goal's not going to be good enough to beat the Carolina Hurricanes, even a depleted Hurricanes team without Slavin, without Jarvis. So, yeah, those are 2 bad gaffes. But where's the offense, man? Where's the power play? You get all those opportunities, don't cash in. So I didn't like it, but that's kind of, hey, it's your money. You pay to go there. But
that felt
again, boo the situation, Allen, but to continuously boo him every time he touches the puck, knowing what he and his brother mean to this organization. You're trying to win Quinn in free agency in a year and a half. You think that's really going to help the situation?
It's funny. I don't think anybody's thinking that at the time, but it's interesting you brought that up. But not to go too deep into it, but because I did watch it with Gracie, I felt like this felt like it was building up. They're booing him because I don't think it was just for the moment. I think that's a collective frustration by the fan base in him. Because he's not really good in his own end, let's be honest. He's a really skilled offensive defenseman. He's not good in his own end. Mm-hmm. And I think it's almost like this frustration of he's not living up to maybe what they wanted him to be, and then he has a game like this, and now the frustration was let out. I don't think that was isolated. I feel the fan base was kind of already getting frustrated, and that just put them over the top.
Frustrated
Am I
too.
wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Again, this is me from 10,000 feet.
And this is the expectations of the entire franchise. Okay. Many people thought they were going to go to the Stanley Cup final this year, and they still might. Every team in the Eastern Conference is alive. Every team. There's no Colorado or Dallas or Minnesota in the East. But we'll save that for another day. More of your calls coming up on the Jets and the Giants, but we got an NFL binge.
Yeah.
And it's coming up next here on ESPN.
Let's go.
St. John's looks to get back on track in Big East play on the road against Butler. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, New York and New Jersey. Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever. Meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Empower.
After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he can be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. If you're heading outbound across the Hudson River, stick with the Holland Tunnel if you can. Just about a 5 to 10 minute ride getting over to the Jersey side. Delays are building at the outbound Lincoln using 9th. It's going to run you about 30 to 40, a little bit better from 11th. Looks like we've got something brewing inside the tube. Heading over to the outbound George, rough ride on the west side highway northbound. Some late running road work on the ramp to the Cross Bronx. You're bumper to bumper there from the 90s. Cross Bronx westbound just packed from the Bronx River Parkway through to underneath the apartments. Inbound George, nice and quiet for both the upper and lower decks. Picking up some slowdowns on the Staten Island Expressway westbound, heading over to the West Shore. Delays there from Clove Road. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit mad.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions. Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible? Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2. The testosterone booster? Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away, and I'm already seeing results. I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week. Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text ROCK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's ROCK to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is...
We're going to rub football all over ourselves today. I did consume a lot of football back in the day, pre-kids, in my underwear.
The NFL Binge.
You watching every game, buddy? Are you watching?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
What up?
Football sucks.
It does, really.
In New York.
I sent. Well, it
just
it makes me resent the sport, though.
Can
Seriously.
we all pick teams? Can we? Right, done. Is this now? Are we out of the fraud range? Or can I just have? Can I enjoy this the playoffs by just saying, you know what, I'm going to go with this team?
Well, you know what? I like what you're saying. And let's get through the binge here, and then I think I'm going to hit. I didn't get to hit in full the lineup for this weekend. So we'll hit the lineup for the weekend, and then maybe we can, as the show goes on, pick teams.
Pick a team that we want.
Because certainly my actual picks don't mean anything. So
just like we're going to hop on the bandwagon?
Yeah. And
not necessarily your picks don't mean anything.
Well, I know what you're saying.
Well, not pick. Like, that's Friday. I'm talking about
No, but I'm saying something for me to think about because my picks, no matter what I pick, it's wrong. So at least if I root for a team, I got a chance. We all
had a rough week.
I was suggesting, are we doing a pick 'em all this year like we did last year where we pick every game?
All right, well, everyone's confusing me now. Let me get right to this beautiful binge that Anthony's produced for me.
Can we just get through this segment?
For God's sake!
No, I'd like to do it all right now.
All right, guys.
That's what a binge is.
The NFC will run through Seattle.
Charbonnet in the backfield on 3rd down and 2. Darnold under center. Long count, turns, hands to Sharp. Finds some running room, bounces it outside left. Here he comes, 20, 15, cuts back inside 10, 5, touchdown, Seahawks. Zach Charbonnet from 27 out, his 12th rushing touchdown of the season.
That's from Seattle Sports 710. The Seahawks over the Niners, of course, because all three of us picked the Niners. That's to win the NFC West and get the number 1 seed in the NFC throughout the playoffs. Head coach Mike McDonald on clinching home field.
Of all the things we've been thinking about over the last 30 minutes or so, I mean, that's definitely a point of pride, that we can have a home, at least one home playoff game in front of the 12s. They've been dynamite this year. They've been absolute, just incredible. So we're really excited to be able to stay home.
This is all really great stuff, but how do you feel?
That if you said name the Seahawks head coach right now, I'd probably just take a bullet to the brain because I wouldn't remember Mike McDonald.
Yeah, because if I told you Mike McDonald was fired as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, you wouldn't have blinked.
No, not blinked. It's so crazy. I when we said, I'm like, Seahawks are Mike McDonald?
But how do you feel about the fact that our producer, whose sole job is to make us look good, saw that we all took the Niners as a 3-point play and then bet against us?
He's a genius.
Not only that, said it on the air with Ty and Jake and said, if you all don't pick this, you're ruining your Christmas.
I'm going to tell you something. I do it again.
No. Me too. Exactly. And by the way, Anthony's right over and over. Now, the funniest thing is none of us knew because we were off. So none of us knew what the other one's picking.
Right.
We all just sent our 3-point play.
Sent them in.
And if you guys had known, Rosenberg's going 3-point San Francisco, you both would have rethought your pick. I know you would have.
Pretty much.
You would have went no chance.
100%.
But we all got it wrong. What a hack pick that was. That is like a public moron pick.
But think about this. Seattle's got the top seed, right? But their head coach has proven in 2 years they don't lose on the road. They only have 4 losses on the road.
It's crazy.
Like, it's insane.
Right, so they don't even need the top pick. It's a waste.
Like, it's almost like your strength is when you go on the road, and yet you got the top seed. But do you trust them and Sam Darnold?
Now, meanwhile, fun fact, since 1979, there have been 3 popes elected, and in those years, the Seahawks have always been the 1 seed in the NFC. 05, 13, and 25.
That's creepy. And those are different eras almost, right?
Yeah. Totally different eras. Well,
because 05 was Hasselback.
Yeah, but it's the beginning of Legion of
Can
Boom.
you name the Pope, though?
Great
You gave me the quarterback. Give me the Pope. If you can do the quarterback and the Pope back
And what
to
was
back,
Mike McDonald doing back then?
He was singing.
That's right. What a fool believes.
But that's 3 different quarterbacks, though, right? Hasselback, Wilson, and now Darnold.
Yeah, it's a great call by you. Sure.
Come on, name the Pope.
Because Wilson wasn't until 2012.
Pope John is the only one I actually know.
Yeah.
I know the new one's American.
John
He's from
Paul was the
Chicago.
79 one, wasn't he?
Guys,
that's the one at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Sunday night football.
That's what I tapped out.
There you go.
Sunday night football was really a complete slog until the fourth quarter.
Good game, though.
Well, no, it turned out to a game. It was interesting the whole time, but it was really funny. I remember they came back from break at some point in the second quarter, and Tirico got into his let's do the spiel on how great the year has been for Rodgers. Like, this is time to talk about. This is what we prepared for this segment. I'm going to talk about Rodgers. Been a good bounce back year, the Jets, the whole thing. 3 incompletions on the drive, immediate punt. You're like, this is not a good game. It's just a lot of defense, competitive, but not good football, not fun football. And then the fourth quarter was absolutely on fire. Now, it looked like a Pittsburgh missed PAT by Boswell after the Steelers' touchdown would be the difference. And you knew it. Oh, man, 2 points is not enough. Not with just under a minute left. You know the Ravens could get in the field goal range. Of course they did. Let's hear first. This is from WDVE, the no good field goal for Pittsburgh.
Missed field goal.
Oh no, is this the end of the game? Sorry, this is the end of the game. Apologies. This is Baltimore's attempt to win the game.
Missed field goal attempt will decide the AFC North champion. Here's the snap. Here's the hold. Here's the boot by Loop, and that kick is no good. No good. It's wide right. No he good. Missed it. Loop missed it. And your Pittsburgh Steelers are AFC North champions.
Now I told you guys I called it.
It's just painful.
I said on text, I'm rooting for old man Rodgers in the battle of who's going to get washed next week in the playoffs. And it really was satisfying in the sense that I thought Rodgers and Pittsburgh did enough to deserve that game. And frankly, they should have made the extra point and probably won that game in the first place. But in the end, guys, could it have been the ghost of Justin Tucker coming back to cost the Ravens at the end? Think about that.
Never missed.
The guy who never missed.
Never missed.
And we know he went out with some scandalous stuff that really, they do a great job on TV not talking about how he disappeared. The greatest kicker of all time has disappeared. But to see the kid who they said they drafted him because they loved his sort of demeanor in a big spot, push it. What was it, 43 yards?
44, yeah.
It's his first miss under 50 yards in the season.
Yeah, he was 29 for 29.
And he the minute it hit his foot, it was off.
You could tell by the call, right?
The second it hit his foot.
Because I was listening to it on the radio.
To me, it was a split second. There was a second I thought it was good.
You thought it was good?
Just for a split second. And then I saw it go just completely push to the right.
That was my golf swing.
Right to the right.
Because I wasn't... I wasn't feeling great. Came back from the Devil game. I'm like, I'm gonna lay down, go to bed. I'm gonna listen to the end of the game because it was riveting. But I just had to get. So I said, Alexa, play Pittsburgh Steelers. I chose the Pittsburgh Steelers call because they're home and the Ravens are driving, and they had a big fourth down conversion to get in the field goal.
Lamar was scintillating.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh, so that catch was big. And the ball
on the flowers.
No. The last first down to Isaiah Likely.
Yep.
That one was an incredible catch.
Yeah, that was 4th and 7, so that's the game. Not only do they keep the drive alive, they're in field goal range. I don't think it made a difference. They took a knee, lost 2 yards. It probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. But still, and I hear the call. It's like, here's the kick. It's no good. Like, you could tell right away. At least they were able to
on radio.
And you know what the good thing was? Is that after the play-by-play guy said no good, the color guy added no good. Just in case.
Just in case.
You missed the first. No, it's a good call
it had nothing to do with
Thank
the fact
God
he
the
was
analyst
rooting.
added that.
He wasn't rooting for the Steelers. He was afraid maybe the mic cut out.
Yeah, just made sure you heard it.
Yeah.
Now here's Harbaugh on hoping to return next season.
Are you feeling like you want another shot with these guys?
Yeah, I love these guys. I love these guys.
Lamar, do you want Harbaugh back next year?
That's you asked me about next year, Jameson. Like, I'm so caught up in what just happened tonight. I can't focus on that right now. I just told you. Like, he asked me, "Are you stunned?" I'm stunned right now. I'm still trying to process what's going on. Like, I know we lost, but
That's not the answer. That's not the answer.
Was that
yes or no? It doesn't take a lot. I understand you're focused on what just happened.
No. But not. It hasn't even crossed my mind.
You're asking me about tomorrow when I'm still in today.
Real quick, hold on.
Whoa.
Ask me if I want Don LaGreca to be executed tomorrow.
Do you want Don LaGreca to be executed tomorrow?
Well, listen, I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, I do not want my friend Don LaGreca to be executed tomorrow.
I think
what I haven't even. Why would you even ask me that? We're a team, of course not.
If I remember correctly, when Terrell Owens was crying, saying "That's my quarterback," it was after a tough loss.
Yeah,
he still was able to process two things at once. He might have been full of BS, but he was able to do it. Remember?
Of course I do.
So
that is. I hadn't heard the audio. That was a surprising answer.
If he becomes available,
so can we?
Why
before we get there, can I just say this?
The $250 million quarterback.
Can I just say before we get there, because it's worth talking about,
the
idea that John Harbaugh could be out of a job because last year Mark Andrews couldn't catch a football.
Fair.
And because this year a field goal kicker can't make a kick.
Fair.
And because of that, a quarterback who did not look good all year and did not stay on the field, you're going to blame the guy who has you It's perfect that Tomlin and Harbaugh played because all they do is have their teams in contention every year. And you know what? Good luck. I hope they get rid of Harbaugh.
Please.
Get rid of Tomlin while you're at it, too, because they did the same thing with Coughlin. They could not wait to get the guy out of town. These Super Bowl winning coaches don't grow on trees, people. You want to get rid of Harbaugh?
But wait. Your $250 million quarterback did not put a rubber stamp endorsement right away about his future. You don't think there's some concern there?
And
so, where there's smoke, there's fire, Pete.
I just wonder.
I'm agreeing with everything you just said.
No, you're right,
Co-signed,
too. I agree with you.
All of it.
I agree with you.
But for me, like, how does your spidey senses not start tingling after that moment at the podium?
And
he's 100% correct.
Harbaugh's not going to win a face-off there, would he?
Well,
between the two of them, one's got to go.
You do have to understand, though, that is a stable ownership. That is a great ownership there. They have a great front office.
He's been head coach.
DeCosta, all those guys there, they know what they're doing. That's one thing I'll say about the Baltimore Ravens.
They do.
They absolutely know what they're doing.
I just can't.
But if they want to make a mistake, and you're the New York Football Giants,
where are you going after Harbaugh?
Come make that mistake.
I'm just curious. With the reasons you guys haven't won a championship in the last couple of years, tell me, Baltimore, who are you bringing in that's going to be better than John Harbaugh has been for that team? I just don't know what these places think. I'd make a better case for Tomlin than for Harbaugh, but that was up till this year. Because now,
well, if Tomlin
just went to the playoffs with a 50-year-old quarterback, and there's number one receiver who's out the last week of the season because he punched a fan. And he still got his team to the playoffs.
And are you so sure they're cooked at home against Houston?
No, I'm not. Because I'll be honest, when I sent that text, I didn't realize they're going to be hosting Houston. So Houston's very good. I do think Houston will win, but I can't say they're cooked.
But no. Well, let's be fair. Kyle Hamilton takes a head-on-head contact from a teammate, comes out of the game. Everything changed defensively for the Ravens. It's fair.
It's true.
One guy can make a difference. Kyle Hamilton's their whole defense. You bring in the Texans' defense. What we saw with Seattle, what we've seen with the Steelers and Rodgers against good defenses this year.
Did you see him against Cleveland 2 weeks ago?
That's what I mean.
They could do nothing.
I'm not sold on the Steelers winning, even though it's at home. Against a really good Texans defense. And a Texans team that has kind of figured it out second half of the season.
Kevin Stefanski, speaking of Cleveland, he'll be out in Cleveland.
New Giants coach.
And here is Dan
Orlovsky. Hot in Cleveland.
Here's Dan Orlovsky thinking Stefanski could be a nice fit.
Kevin Stefanski is going to get a job this cycle. I think he's a very good head coach, and I think the track record when he has competent quarterback play speaks for itself. I've been outspoken. I would love for him in New York with the Giants and Jackson Dart.
Now,
I love how he enunciates.
He's
a very good enunciator.
Orlovsky, one of the great enunciators in the company today. I got to tell you guys, if Don were to do a top five, I think it's a little boring, but still, if he were to. That hasn't stopped him before.
Wednesday has come. Oh, thank you.
You see that shot that just came in? It was a joke. It was a joke. It was sincerely a joke. But best defenses on an awful team.
Ooh.
Cleveland could be. This Cleveland defense, as Myles Garrett sets the record for all-time sacks, that could be the best defense I've ever seen on a bad team.
Really good.
Every week you watch them, they make the other team awful. Give you Green Bay. It doesn't matter who they. Cincinnati yesterday. They make everyone look bad.
Yep.
And they were an awful team. Like, I don't know how you can be that bad with a defense that good.
I get Stefanski twice winning 11 games, coach of the year twice in Cleveland. Nobody ever wins in Cleveland. I wasn't in love with his in-game stuff. There's a lot of time, but I don't know. I guess it's better than some of the names.
When they had a good running game, that's when they were at their best.
They were
the problem was they never could find a capable quarterback, and then they make the bonehead trade for Deshaun Watson. And that wasn't his decision. That wasn't Barry's decision. That was above it. That was the
well,
owner.
And by the way, and who knew that would turn out the way it turned out? Now they'd have this carousel of average to bad quarterbacks, respectfully to Shedeur, who showed some signs, but he's certainly not there as a stud quarterback yet.
Yeah.
Real quick, as we close out the binge, let's hit you with the. That's a doozy.
Really cool.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And Anthony, great job. Let me hit you with the schedule for next weekend. So
schedule.
The schedule. Now Saturday is Thursday, as you know, 4:30. Rams at Panthers. 12-5 Rams at the 8-9 Panthers. That line, if you're wondering, hefty. I might have to throw down on the
double
Panthers.
Digits.
Oh yeah, 10.5 on the road. That is no respect for your Carolina Panthers, who backed their way into the playoffs.
Wow.
Now the nightcap is the opposite. Dead sexy. It's Jessica Rabbit. The Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Bears are 1.5-point favorites. 8 o'clock Prime Video. That's an Al Michaels sleepy time. Bobo's vehicle.
No. Locked in. That's on the couch, weighted blanket.
Oh, I thought you meant Michaels will be locked in. No, he won't.
No,
but you will be.
No,
we'll be locked in.
Well, he's locked in once we get to about
Well, how close is the line? What's the line?
That's what I mean. Once we get to where the score is starting to get interesting.
Here we go.
But no, seriously. Isn't that straight up fire on, weighted blanket?
Well, that's after the first game. That's what they owe us.
Oh, no, exactly.
Well,
that game is
you're going to nap during the first game.
No, you nap during the first game.
So you're awake and focused for that.
And it's 8 o'clock, so I could put the baby down right at kickoff. 100%. We're in business. So that's Packers-Bears. That's Prime Video. Sunday, your lineup is 1 o'clock. Bills at the Jags. That's a very compelling football game
It's an interesting game.
The Buffalo's a 1.5-point favorite.
That'd be more fun in Buffalo.
It would be, but I like the Jags more. It makes the Jags more compelling to me.
It probably could be a more entertaining game because you might get a little more,
The Buffalo intensity.
Throwing the football and all that stuff. It's because the weather would have been a much bigger factor.
So,
although, do we know? Because you know what? It kind of is rainy season there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true.
Well, stand by.
The 4:30, that's a CBS vehicle. The 4:30 on Fox, Don, you talk about classic NFC. The Niners at the Eagles. And as I mentioned earlier, now, if the Eagles had won yesterday, who would they have played?
I think they were locked in. I think
they weren't.
No, if the Rams
they would have went to the
lost,
2 seed, they would have gotten the Packers.
If the Eagles won?
Yes.
If the Eagles won, they would have had the Packers. Yes.
You don't think that's weird?
I would rather have the Niners than the Packers, I think.
You would?
Yeah. Remember,
I don't know that I
been
would.
Banged up all year.
Yeah, but the Packers are going the wrong direction the last few weeks. They haven't had their quarterback. Micah's out. They've been kind of beat up. I'd rather see this Packers team that hasn't shown me anything in the playoffs versus the Shanahan 49ers team.
Just
I don't know.
Quick update. Jacksonville. It's going to be like 70 degrees.
And beautiful. No,
gorgeous.
Josh going to air it out.
Oh, yeah.
So then you have the 49ers and the Eagles. The nightcap on Sunday, also a good one. The Chargers at the Pats. I don't
hate that.
No, I don't hate it either. Again, the Chargers are a team that go in the wrong direction. Quarterback's not 100%. Offensive line's been shredded, and the Patriots have just been rolling. Patriots, though, only a 3.5-point favorite. I could have seen that being a bigger line given where things have been.
That hook's juicy.
But the hook's juicy.
Yeah.
Sure it is. And then lastly, guys, the Monday Night Foosball will be the Texans at the Steelers on ESPN ABC next Monday, 8:15.
Aaron Rodgers' last game?
I don't think so.
Ever? You think?
Not because they win. I think he's coming back.
You think they get smashed? He's coming back.
I don't think they're getting smashed.
They won't get smashed, will they?
That defense is scary, but
I'm saying like 23-10.
I
think they're going to do better than 23-10.
If Pittsburgh is interested in having him back, I think Rodgers comes back. Wow. I think he had fun this year. I do. And that'll do it for your NFL binge on this Monday. The season is over, folks. Remember we said the season's starting? Well, it's a wrap.
All right, we got a huge ENN coming up at 6 o'clock.
That's
your
your
calls up until then, 1-800-919-3776. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg till 6:30. Then it's the Knicks on ESPN New York.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com. Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 50% off and every day 0% financing. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. I am loving what I've seen from the Bears late in the season. I'm kind of feeling them. Take your shot on an upset, though, if that's for you, or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sports book partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com for help with a gambling problem. Call 877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports. ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
I see what you did. I like what you did. And it's game time. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time.
It's Tully time.
It's Tully time. Sentimental photos. The Knicks look to get back on track in Detroit against the Pistons, with coverage immediately following us on 880 at 6:30. Hockey Ranger, the Rangers hosting the Mammoth, who are apparently a team, with coverage over on 1050 at 6:30. We got a double whammy at 6:30 for your ace. And then it's all Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
Mammoth are from Utah.
I know where they're from, but I still can't believe it when I read it.
No.
New teams take a
little bit.
New teams take... I need a good couple years.
Now, we've got Joe Schoen sound that I want to play.
There's one that's going to, but you're going to go through the roof.
We're close to the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, come on.
And we've got calls.
Let's take the calls.
So let's take some calls, and then when we come back in the 5 o'clock hour, we've got some very interesting Joe Schoen. In case you missed us, just you were at work, you weren't listening, you were kind of cut off. He is coming back as general manager of the Giants, so we're going to hear from Joe Schoen, who spoke just a little while ago. Let's get back to the phones, 1-800-919-3776. Danny on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Danny?
Just wanted to let you know I survived that debacle last night, that near-death experience.
Tell us what happened on the missed field goal. How did you react?
Well, let me just say, before the game started, I sent out a social media picture of a bottle of Sambuca and a bottle of Jack Daniels on my counter with 2 shot glasses. And I said, it's either going to be the sweet sip of Sambuca or the burning taste of loss. And I had the bottle of Sambuca put away. I had poured myself a nice honey Jack. I was filming I was filming it.
Honey Jack's not burning. That's a delightful beverage.
It's delightful. I'm not. It's not my bag. I don't usually drink this stuff, so I have it in the house. Anyway, if I may go back, the field goal goes right. I managed to stay on camera with the film, peer down, pick up the shot, drink it, and then just slam it back down on the table and go, because I can't even. I mean, that game. If I may quote the great philosopher, football fan, and Nicki Minaj fan, Peter Rosenberg, these things are hard. These seasons are long. They're hard. And for people to do it year after year and be constantly back in the playoffs, when you were saying this in like week 2 of the Commanders, it's hard. In one season, one game, you encompassed the whole season, the whole Tomlin experience. You had a 4th and 1.5. They tried to push, didn't even come close. They had a 4th and goal from the 1 where they tried one of the most ill-fated, ill-designed pitch out where they were clearly outnumbered. So it was, and then they come back roaring in the third quarter, 3 touchdown drives, 4 behind again. When that guy hit the field goal, that was the toll. The bell, who's the bell toll? That was the toll for us because there's no way. And then they returned the kickoff to the 46-yard line. Like, are you kidding me? Now it's just a matter of time. Let's not forget Lamar's being chased down on 3rd down. He's about 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And right before he goes out of bounds, he just heaves the ball underhand forward. Howard made it back to the line of scrimmage, so it wasn't intentional grounding.
Crazy.
I don't know, but it wasn't. So, but if that's a sack there, it's over. There is no 17-yard pass to Lively where they even set up the field goal. But it was one. So I'm just like, it's over. That's what am I going to do? Wide right from the minute of the left his foot. And if you have, it's just. What I was feeling this morning is sad for Jet fans because I've been involved in so many. No, really, I mean this sincerely. So many of these epic games. Antonio Brown catching the ball off the helmet. The Super Bowl. Just 2 weeks ago in Detroit when the referees were having an announcement, the whole season was hanging on the line. Where an entire generation of Jet fans hasn't had one moment of what that was like last night. And I agree with you, Peter. If Harbaugh being fired is a joke, you could go with Tom a little more because he's been there longer, and they hadn't won a playoff game in 16 years. Now hopefully we can get one. So he's obviously not going anywhere now if he doesn't want to. So I don't take it back that I thought it was time for him to go because you could be a great coach and still be time to go. You're not going to get any better than it's a difficult thing, but I mean Tirico's call was tremendous.
He was
set
very
the whole
good.
Stage up. He was very good. Then he laid out. I mean,
it was an incredible game, Danny. If I were you, I'm not waking up worrying about the Jets. I'm just being thrilled to get that because, like you said, it's just so hard to be good in this league. The Steelers obviously they have a couple of great players on their team, right? Although T.J. Watt wasn't 100% last night, but they have a couple of great players. They're not an immensely talented football team anymore. They're not. They're a pretty good football team. And, Don, no matter how you got there, they get to play next week.
And I think they were a dog in their own building, and they found a way to win and advance to the playoffs. Bill's in Florida. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Bill?
Yeah, hi, guys. Happy New Year. There's one thing that I just don't understand, and that is that you guys keep saying that, well, you have to give Joe Schoen an extension because if not, he's going to be a lame duck and he can't go into next year as a lame duck general manager.
Right.
But to me, it makes no sense because let's say the Giants go ahead and do what we expect, which is they give him an extension, another year or two. Let's face it, if next year they win 3 games, they're going to fire him anyway. And they'll pay him off just like they pay off any coach or general manager who has years left.
I understand what you're saying,
contract.
Bill. But if I'm a coach, if I'm Mike McCarthy, say, or Stefanski, and I want a 3, 4, 5-year contract with the Giants, I'm going to want to know who my general manager is. Well, why would I want to take a job with the Giants and not know whether Joe Schoen is staying or going? I understand he could get fired. Anybody could get fired, but I literally don't know who my general manager is going to be in 2027 if you don't give him a contract extension.
No, but I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is if you give him the contract extension, you're not telling the coach anything that he doesn't already know, which is that it's a fallacy that the contract extension because he's not going to be there the following year. You're not giving the coach any kind of security as far as who his general manager is going to be in the following year because they would fire Schoen anyway. The contract extension doesn't mean anything except extra money for Joe Schoen for the following year.
But with no contract, then you pretty much know that he's gone. I would like there has to be some air, Alan, of stability when I'm taking over. I don't want to have a contract. So you tell me I'm going to invest, let's say it's a 3-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
And your general manager is in the last year of his contract. You don't have enough confidence in him. Why didn't you fire him? At least if you give him a contract extension, you're sending the air of, I've got confidence in this guy, And maybe he doesn't get fired after a losing season.
That's coming. And when you hear what he says, you're going to blow your top.
All right, Joe Schoen. I cannot wait for this. We're going to hear from Joe Schoen coming up. Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
And now it's time for traffic. Here's Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. No relief on the West Side Highway northbound heading over to the outbound George. Still have some left lane roadwork on the ramp to the eastbound Cross Bronx. Solid delays there. Go back into the 90s. New issue on the Cross Bronx westbound by the Sheridan. It's a crash in the center lane involving a tractor trailer. Solid ride there heading over to the outbound George from White Plains Road through to underneath the apartments. Inbound George, nice and quiet for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln already about 20 to 30. Outbound Holland 10 to 15. Heavy pockets of slowdowns on the LA eastbound getting through Queens. Lots of extra company moving between the BQE and Cross Island. This report is sponsored by Sesame Workshop, the nonprofit behind Sesame Street. The world needs Sesame Street, and right now Sesame needs you. Donate today at sesame.org. That's sesame.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
.501 in the big city. Hahn and Rosenberg with you till 6:30. Then it's the Knicks and Pistons. No joke. Knicks, Pistons, 1 and 2 in the conference.
No, this is important.
We've turned the calendar over to 2026, so we'll get into that in a little bit.
Oh, you bet you're
Rangers home for the Mammoth as they're trying to build some momentum off of the Winter Classic win.
Just take the roof
the
off.
Panthers.
They'll win that game too.
I was seeing so many like memes and AI of what the Garden would look like without a roof, like a retractable dome kind of situation, because they are undefeated. Do you realize that's the first outdoor game? I'm not counting the Ranger Kings game from the early 90s when they had the locusts and everything.
That was cool.
But in any regular season outdoor game, I was at all. Citizens Bank, MetLife, City Field, Yankee Stadium. So that was the first one I was not at, but they've won them all. They are undefeated in outdoor games, which is
Play it
pretty
at
awesome.
Central Park, Woolman Rink.
Why not? Oh, how about Bryant Park?
Bryant Park, beautiful rink.
Teams have practiced at Bryant Park.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
And at Central Park, too.
Also a thing, Joe Schoen is back as general manager of the Giants. We have not heard anything about a contract extension, but he is going to lead the search for a new head coach, and he spoke to the media a little while ago today, and Joe Schoen on staying.
Good afternoon, everybody. Start off by saying I'm honored and humbled that John Mayer and Steve Tisch would allow me to see this process through.
All right.
Great.
Just keep going.
Welcome aboard, pal.
This is everybody buckle up.
We always love the message to the fans.
To our fans, I understand, the wins haven't been what the expectation is, and, I'm fortunate enough to be tasked with getting the organization and the franchise back where it belongs, and that's the goal as we move forward.
Okay. So far, so.
Yep. No.
I wouldn't say
so
okay.
far, so nothing.
So far,
this
so
is
okay.
very meh. It's very meh. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
How about the criteria for the next head coach?
There's several criteria that we're going to look for. Leadership being an important element, in the head coaching world. Football acumen will be important. Player development is very important. Having a plan for player development. We have a young quarterback. It's going to be important that there's a plan in terms of Jackson's development, holding people accountable, communication. There's a lot that goes into the head coach that can fall under that leadership element, but those are some of the characteristics that we're going to be looking for in the next head coach. We're going to cast a wide net, and there's no directive that it has to be an offensive guy or defensive guy or special teams or college or whatever it may be. Having head coaching experience previously, we're going to try to find, or we are going to find, the best leader for the franchise.
Okay, here it comes, Don.
All right.
Here it comes.
Why is the Giant job so attractive?
For me, it's, early on I made mistakes. I'm fortunate to have great ownership here where you're allowed to stub your toe and try to course correct. And over the last couple of years, we've been able to add a franchise quarterback. You've been able to add a number one receiver in Malik Neighbors, who, again, I'm looking forward to getting him back. And there are, the defensive line, the pass rushers. There's pieces in place that also make this an attractive job. So looking at where we're going, where the build is, what the plan is moving forward, and seeing the vision through is why I think that's the case.
Now, stub your toe, Don.
Now,
you can stub your toe.
We've all stubbed our toe.
Oh, sure.
Matter of fact,
I hate
before I left for Toronto, the day I left for Toronto, step out of the shower that I have stepped out of for the 19 years I've been in this house, and stubbed my toe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it to you. It's black and blue. It was bleeding under the nail.
Well, I've had a stain under my big toenail for months,
and I went, ow, that hurt.
Oh yeah.
You know what it felt like? It felt like 7 wins in 2 seasons. That's what it felt like. Honey, you okay? My toe's throbbing. It feels like my team won 4 games this year and won 3 games the year before. My franchise quarterback handed to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they won a Super Bowl. Ow, my toe is killing me. Stub your toe? How about massive heart attack? How about hemorrhaging from the eyes? What else can we come up with? Rectal bleeding.
Well,
all right, that's 3 that I just came up with. So, massive heart at the Widowmaker.
Oh, the bad.
All right, hemorrhage from the eyes, rectal bleeding. What other things do they give you when? How
about the condition on his hot dog fingers?
Oh, the hot dog fingers.
No one wants that.
Wolf babies.
Yeah. Oh God.
Listen. How would Peter feel if Maya was a wolf?
Right. All of a sudden.
That's 5 that I came up with. If I were Joe Schoen, I'd compare his tenure to. Stub my toe, please. For a Super Bowl, I'd cut my toe off.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Well, listen, we've all stubbed our toe. You hate stubbing your toe.
Even oily discharge doesn't do it. Oily discharge doesn't do it. So can you imagine stubbing your toe?
Well, how about this? What about, I stubbed my toe the other day and it hurt immensely bad. What if it was like the feeling of stubbing your toe constantly? Like, multiple times a day, always.
No, because at some point, it goes from I stubbed my toe to I broke my toe, they're amputating my toe.
Right.
Like if you're stubbing your toe every single day.
There is no toe.
At some point, you're not describing it as I'm stubbing my toe.
No, I've got a problem. My
At some
toe's
point,
gone.
you're going to talk about your toe in the past tense.
That's right. Remember toe?
I have 9 toes now. What happened to the other toe? I stubbed it 50 straight nights.
Yeah, and now it's gone.
Peeing in the middle of the night, I stubbed my toe, and now it's not there anymore.
But Don,
but
stub the toe. But he works for an organization that lets you do that.
Yeah, lets
you correct yourself and learn from it.
Yeah, mistakes are okay.
It's great, isn't it?
We're
developing a general manager. And you're living through the early mistakes. It's like a quarterback. Early on, he's going to throw interceptions. He's going to do the, Deontay Banks. He's going to do the Evan Neal. You're going to do these things. Evan Neal instead of, Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave or, somebody like that might have helped you.
Oh, you picked Evan Neal. Don't worry. Listen, you're going to make mistakes.
But you already had a left tackle, didn't you?
You
had one.
You're going to make an omelet. You're going to crack a few eggs.
You're going to make a mistake.
You're going to make Evan Neal.
That's all right.
Thibodeau.
This is
Banks. There's a lot of eggs.
Banks a big one.
There's a lot of eggshells in that omelet.
You're going to let Saquon go.
Just get him out of the way. All right? Get the mistakes out of the way. Oh, I thought you were going to say the phrase in sports that, makes me sick.
Mm-hmm.
The trust the process. Joe, just trust the process. This is what you do. This is what happened. Oh, George Young, believe me, he made mistakes like this too. No.
He didn't?
Nope.
Ernie did.
Ernie. Remember that time?
Tons of mistakes.
Wait, when did that time? No,
remember when he made a mistake and he should have drafted?
No.
Do you want me to read you the names?
No, you want Gettleman.
Here.
Oh, you know what? I got some examples for Gettleman.
I'm going to do this for you.
Idzig, McCagnon, if you want to go to the other side of the stadium.
I'm going to do this for you.
Do it for me.
Because this is the example of stubbing your toe.
Okay.
In the year the Giants had 2 top 10 picks. 2022.
I guess it was 5 and 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was 2022. It was 5 and 7, correct. At the number 5 pick, they took Kayvon Thibodeau.
That's right.
Right.
Stud. Remember that game against Washington? Remember?
Which one? Oh, yeah, sure.
D1.
Big stud. Big stud out of Oregon.
I remember.
And then with the 7th pick, 2 picks later.
7.
Yeah.
They said, let's get another offensive lineman.
Okay. This one had to be good, though.
Evan Neal.
Oh.
Now, after
Boo his ass.
7 picks, all 7 picks that came after Evan Neal, would you like to hear them?
No.
Positions that the Giants could not.
Go ahead.
I don't think. Drake London probably had no use for that guy. Charles Cross with the Seattle.
Oh, Howard Cross? He was good.
Charles Cross, who just got an extension now with Seattle. They absolutely
so he's good.
They like Garrett Wilson. Chris Olave.
These are all players who it's worked out better
Jamison Williams, who was injured.
No, he's good, though.
But,
No, he's good.
How about, I don't know. I'm not sure you would have needed this guy, though. Jordan Davis. Probably didn't need him.
Boo his sorry ass.
And then, how about a position of need right now?
Okay.
Kyle Hamilton. One of the best safeties in the game.
You're saying that would be useful for them?
Mom, I'm not taking a safety at 7, but I get your point.
Well,
you would have taken over Evan Neal.
I'm sorry.
Well, listen,
I'm sorry. I just named 7 straight players better than that guy.
Everyone is playing.
And I could argue that as much as you might love Kayvon Thibodeau, I named 7 straight players that might have been better than him. As of now, be more useful to you than him.
Hey, Thibodeau's Lawrence Taylor compared to Evan Neal.
And I like Joe Schoen, but I don't like the stub your toe.
Here's the thing.
Thankfully, this organization lets me make mistakes on the job.
Don't say stub your toe.
But that's what he said. That's one where I always say this is the PR guy facepalm. That's a PR guy facepalm moment. Where the minute he says you're on the side, nobody sees you. He's at the podium. You're behind the curtain. He says, stub your toe, and you go, Jesus, what now? How are they going to spin this?
I'm being honest. I'm not a PR guy, but I work with a lot of them.
Well, we know them well.
Some of the best ones.
We've seen them facepalm.
Pete Albeets is amazing with the Devils and working with the Rangers all those years. Knicks, Pat Hanlon is an angel as far as I'm concerned with the Giants, but he's not as in tune anymore with the Giants, but he was gold standard as far as PR directors, and I've had a chance to work with all of them. If I were a PR director, here's what I would tell Joe Schoen to say.
Go ahead.
Or here's what I would say if I were Joe Schoen.
Okay.
My tenure here has been embarrassing. I am very fortunate that I have ownership that's patient. It's unacceptable to the Giants. It's unacceptable to the Giant fans. But more importantly, it's unacceptable to me. By the grace of God, I've been given a second chance here. I'm going to make good on it. And if not, I know I'm going to get shown the door. Let's get to work. Questions?
That's it.
How hard is that?
This is so simple.
That just came to me.
So simple.
All right? I didn't.
You just came up with that?
Yeah, I just came up with that.
So simple.
Because that's what I wanted to hear, so that's what I would say.
I am fortunate that this organization still believes in me, and I owe it to them and you as a fan base to be better, and we will be.
Because
that's it.
Because here's the thing, all right? he brought up stub your toe, which tells me you're tone deaf. You don't get it. Because if you got it, and the reason I get it is because I'm a Giant fan, I'm suffering with it, is that's a poor analogy.
No,
so just go subhuman with it, right? So, and that way the fans will be like, yeah, you have been terrible, and you are blessed to be back. But unfortunately, and I hate to go there, but this is the analytic world we live in. If that's a former player, like that's Ozzie Newsome when he was the GM of the Ravens, he would know what to say.
Of course.
You know, if that was somebody that played, if that was somebody that was more involved, Joe Schoen's a guy, like all these guys, they're
he's
they're
a Brandon
bean
Bean guy, right? Like that's what he is. He's from that school, and they're very analytical.
And
they're
so
very
it's
much
all
about numbers.
just, so he's not going to come up with the right analogy because he's not coming from a fan perspective. He's not coming from a player perspective. He is coming from an X's and O's.
Mm-hmm.
And when the numbers don't jive and when the analytics don't live up to the expectations, that's the way they look at it. It's like, hey, stubbed my toe, said it was going to work 65% of the time. Taking Evan Neal, the numbers say, was the right pick. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right pick. What are you going to do? Where I think somebody that's more invested into the actual football of it might be like, that's a rough pick.
So I think we can now confirm after the checklist he gave us of the type of head coach he's looking for or the organization's looking for that he'll be part of finding. Strong leader.
Okay.
Should be the very top of the list. It wasn't the first thing he mentioned. I mean, again, football acumen. Do you need to mention that? You probably don't.
Well,
it's unnecessary to mention football acumen.
You'd hope there'd be football acumen.
You would think that anybody that would be a candidate for this job would have football acumen.
At least some, sure.
But strong leader is definitely something that is needed because Brian Daboll had football acumen. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody didn't like him, but we all can say that he had football acumen. But he was not a strong leader. He played favorites. He kind of was, the type of guy that would, now we're learning, would look the other way if somebody was bending the rules. Not really good at holding up a standard, right?
Right.
And so that also tells you, though, that Joe Schoen is basically admitting, I am not the leader of this organization. Whoever we hire as coach will be
the leader.
So I just wanted to reemphasize that Joe Schoen is not in charge. He is not the leader of the organization. He is helping them find a coach. And that's his. And once they do, the coach, whoever they hire, is going to be that face. That's what I firmly believe what's going to happen here. And then he will go back to the background, go back to the numbers and the analytics and his scouting setup that he has created there that they love, and they will dive back into the draft and everything else that needs to be done with a pick that could have been number one, but they didn't want that. They chose to win. They chose to not worry about getting the number one pick and what kind of value you're going to get there. So this is their choice.
Don, take a moment. If I can see him. Hold on. Breathe.
How I would like the Dave Rothenbergs and the Rick DiPietros and even Michael Kay today. Explain to me, how should the Giants have handled the last two games?
Like the Jets did.
Well, the Jets...
No one can lose like the Jets.
The Giants don't have a quarterback, even Russell Wilson, as bad as what they had. But let me just ask you, you played basketball. Not in the NBA, but you played competitive.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
I played competitively before I got cut from college or whatever. You can't bench everybody. All right? Some veterans are going to have to play in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Can you look at a Dexter Lawrence? Can you look at any of those offensive linemen and tell them against the Dallas Cowboys at home in the last game of the season, we're going to start Russell Wilson? Now, if it's preparing for the playoffs, they'll get it. But I think the league would investigate. Honestly, the league would have investigated if your third-string quarterback started the last game of the season. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know if they would investigate, but I see why they would.
But
Jameis Winston, that's different. But you know what? Jameis Winston could have done the exact same thing Dart did yesterday against the Cowboys.
I think they would have.
He could have messed around and won the game.
Jameis Winston would have beat the Raiders.
Yeah, I think he would have won both games.
Right.
So you wanted to start Russell Wilson the last two games of the season? You don't think the league would make a phone call?
Don, your answer.
It's worth asking.
Your answer to those who were criticized, and I only did this because I'm poking the bear right now because it's fun.
You're the bear.
Yeah, you are the bear, by the way.
And he's the poke.
And I
You know, it's better to be the some prefer being a poker, and some enjoy being
poked.
poked.
I'm pretty good at poking. It might be the only thing I do well.
Wow.
So
at least 4 times
that we know of. So
we know.
What we saw after the game with the game ball tells you why they could not lose.
They couldn't do it.
They could not
They
tank
could not do it.
with where John Mara is right now. And I don't want to put a cast a dark thing on this, but I do want everybody to understand the situation and how if you're anyone involved in that organization and you know how much it means to John Mara, you couldn't do that.
Can't do it.
Because you don't know if that's
and I'm going to agree with Don too.
You don't know what that game is to him.
No, you don't. And even though I was prodding Dave yesterday, I was during the game. I'm texting Dave, and I'm like, God, your team, they don't even know when to lose, right? And I'm just stirring the pot, and I'm like, Don loves stuff like this, and he's like, there's something wrong with him, like he's, and I'm just having fun trying to stir everybody up. The truth is, unless you thought, I think the only year, Don, when you really would have a case to go, you have to find a way to lose, is if it's the difference between getting the organizational quarterback or not. Like if you went, the quarterback we all dream of is sitting there.
That's fair.
And I think there's an argument to be made for you do everything in your power to at least make it happen. Yeah. That was not the case yesterday.
Right, well, even
I felt like you. I enjoy, can I just be clear? Commanders hurt themselves. I loved seeing us beat the Eagles. We have these rivalry games to end the year. I like beating.
I like beating Dallas.
You like beating Dallas.
It's
By the way,
probably
hadn't
why
beaten
they
them in
put them
5
at
years.
9
think about
straight
it.
losses.
That's the best way, though, if you want to try to curb tanking, you put those games at the end of the year so they matter.
Well,
but I'm just saying, in this situation, with John Mara where he is,
can't do it.
You can't purposely lose. Like there's just something that doesn't feel right about it. Although it makes sense to lose.
Especially when John said he'd fire anybody that tanked. So
there you go.
That he doesn't want it. But I'm trying to get Anthony or Jacob to call Dave Rothenberg up.
Call
because
Dave?
The issue last year was how dare they beat Indiana.
Yeah.
All right? Meaningless game. All of a sudden you have 400 yards worth of passing and you win a game. Kick return, all that. And it cost them the first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
So are you telling me, Dave Rothenberg, that you'd rather have Cam Ward than Jackson Dart? Because that's what you would have done. You would have picked Cam Ward.
Yeah.
So you got mad they didn't lose that game, but you might be better off because Jackson Dart might end up being the better quarterback. My point is it's a crapshoot, people. And if you really think there's a team out there that was going to mortgage their whole future to get Mendoza with the first overall pick, stop yourself, okay? Yeah, I'd rather lose 2. I get it. You'd rather have the first overall pick.
Well,
but
the
to
value
sit there
of the
and
pick
complain
is-
and moan and groan when we have no damn idea who's going to come out of this draft, stop it. A dying man wants a win. If that's the case, get him the damn win. How about that?
The number one pick had value not because you need a quarterback, because someone else does. And you could have traded it for multiple picks because you have so many holes in your roster to fill, and you were hoping that you could get some draft capital and make some things happen in this draft that you could look back on and say, that's the draft where everything turned, right?
Yeah.
That's why I understand Dave's side of it.
I get it.
But the emotional side of it from inside the organization, for what we're just talking about with the owner, with John Mara, that's the logical. When people say, how could they win? Why would they do that? This is why. And the fact that you don't understand it, you're not supposed to because you don't have an emotional involvement to it the way those inside the organization do.
But to flip out, I understand the logic. I get it.
Yes.
And would I rather have the first overall pick? Of course
Yes.
I would.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, I don't think there was a way for them to lose against the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders.
And then the Cowboys.
Well, the second Dak's out of the game, we're not having dude.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That was not a functional. Milton is not a functional NFL quarterback. Sorry. I saw a couple of those yesterday. Can you believe? I couldn't believe who Philly and Dallas had playing it.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, like, I know you guys may laugh because my team's playing Josh Johnson. You guys are more. Josh Johnson, I've seen him play. I know he can complete passes. It's crazy. You had to win that game.
And Clowney was going off because he's a resurgence now at 32, and he's all over the place. And Jackson Dart completed a couple of third down passes for touchdowns. I see value in that. But watching John Mara get the game ball, I just said to myself, you know what?
That means more than anything else.
I think that, and I know I get killed, and they even bring me up by name on the morning show about the culture. Listen, did that win against Indianapolis change the culture? No. Will the win against the Cowboys change the culture? No. But could it add some confidence to Jackson Dart? Could it help him? Does it make the organization feel good that John Mara was happy for 3 seconds?
But no,
and then also the complete crapshoot that the draft ends up being. The best damn quarterback of football was taken 10th. The Super Bowl champion quarterback of Philadelphia was taken in the second round. Where was Lamar Jackson taken?
First round.
So come on, man.
Now I'm with you 100%. And also, Jackson Dart, guys, the last month, we've kind of more people have been coming to my side of like, I'd like to see a little more. I'd like to see a little more growth. Post the head coach change, a lot of people are like, I'd like to see more. You're telling me that second half yesterday wasn't big for Dart? That was a useful second half for him. He started off looking there was a very wonky start for Jackson Dart. It was great to see him sort of find his way in that game.
I really do believe that there are a lot of people who are just completely sold on Jackson Dart. I'm leaning that way. I want to see everything that I can. I'm sorry.
It's foolish.
Everything.
If you are to the point where you think you literally know you have the future and you didn't need to, you're out of your mind.
No.
There's more to be seen from Jackson
there.
Dart.
Well, there's a lot
there.
But
we need a little more.
Reps matter, too.
Reps do matter.
Reps matter. Never mind, show me something, all that stuff. Reps matter.
They add up.
Dave Rothenberg next.
Wow.
All right.
Let's
Here we
get
go.
into it. I'm taking my shirt off.
Ding, ding.
DHR, ESPN New York.
St. John's looks to get back on track at Big East play on the road against Butler. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Hi, I'm John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. You know what's interesting about the words personal injury? The first word is person. And at D'Agostino & Associates, that word means everything. That's because I handpick every person in our firm, from the pleasant professional person who answers your call to the experienced person litigating your case in court. Because every person in my firm is an extension of me, and the only way to exceed our clients' expectations is to deliver the highest level of personal service every single time. And that starts with hiring the right people. You see, we know that every client is a person too, someone going through the toughest time in their lives and deserves to be more than just a file number. At D'Agostino & Associates, we put the person back in personal injury. So call 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222 and ask for me, John D'Agostino. And let's talk about your case, person to person. D'Agostino, law, bite back.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's Second Chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Should start moving better soon on the West Side Highway northbound, heading over to the outbound. George just picked up that late-running roadwork on the ramp to the eastbound Cross Bronx. Still have some heavy delays there going back into the 90s. No relief on the Cross Bronx westbound, heading in that direction. Still have this crash involving an SUV and a tractor-trailer in the center lane by the Sheridan. Packed ride there from White Plains Road through to underneath the apartments. Inbound George, nice and quiet for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln already about 15 to 20. Outbound Hahn, just about a 5 to 10 minute ride. Bumper to bumper on the BQE westbound, heading over to Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, hitting the brakes from the LIE in Queens. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Score more with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Rep your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back through Venmo Stash, a new rewards program where the more you do, the more you get. Get your Venmo debit card today and start earning rewards with Venmo Stash. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply. Max $100 cash back per month. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 50% off and every day 0% financing. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
One of my favorite songs of all time, and also is on the top 5 where the cover's better than the original.
This is a cover?
Yeah, it was a Bruce Springsteen song.
I keep forgetting that story. You're right. Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Every time he says it, I don't remember it.
I never remember that.
But it's a great song, and
it is
speaking of great, a great host, and you can hear him with Rick DiPietro, 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday here on ESPN New York is Dave Rothenberg, who I've said for years, guys, and I've been made fun of it, quite frankly, by Michael and Peter, pound for pound, the best talk show host we have at this radio station.
Right. Pound for pound.
Pound for pound.
You know, he's a lot lighter now.
No, but see, that's where Michael would always go. That I wasn't calling him fat. No, pound for pound.
But what made you think pound?
Well, no, it doesn't make sense. The reason
he's worked a lot on his weight.
It makes perfect sense.
It only makes sense in boxing because their size is different.
Right.
It doesn't make sense in talking.
No, it does make sense because, listen, all right, am I stretching it a little bit? Sure.
A little bit.
But I'm just saying there's a lot of different skill sets. We've got former players here. We've got guys that have different ways that they go about it. And I say, take it all the different formulas. The guy that I'd take to do whatever is Dave.
And by the way, I don't disagree with it.
I just can't come up with another analogy of pound for pound. Mike for Mike?
Felt like that was a shot. That's all.
We don't have time. We can't deal with Alan.
All we have is time.
Let's talk to this.
Especially considered he dialed up on the Comrex. We appreciate that. He's Dave Rothenberg. Joining us here on Don on Rosenberg. How are you, dear?
I'm terrible. I know we are in polar opposite sides of this, and I don't want to really get confrontational because I do love you. I love all you guys, but I'm just sick about the Giants winning both these games.
I don't
winding up with the fifth pick.
I get it. I want the first pick too, but I don't understand why you get so upset about it.
Because I saw a path. Well, I mean,
if you have
if you have the number one pick,
yeah,
and there's the quarterback, at least one in this draft, right? We know Mendoza and possibly Dante Moore.
Maybe.
So now you trade from 1 to 2 to 3 to wherever, and then if somebody wants another one, you trade back again because what they need is talent. They don't have a ton of talent on this team. Look at the players. If I told you they need offensive line, yup. They need receiver, yup. Could they use guys that can get to the quarterback? Probably. Okay. Linebackers, safeties, they need everything. So if I get more of those guys, I'd prefer to get more of those guys.
I have no idea who is going to give you a mint for Mendoza anyway. We have no idea if it'll be Mendoza. Moore might jump up.
Okay.
All right.
Then even better.
But we don't know if this is not Trevor Lawrence that's coming out where everybody and their mother wants him. So, but that said, whatever. All right, it's still a crapshoot because we go back to last year. You were apoplectic that they lost to the Colts.
Right.
Meant nothing. Meaningless game, cost them the first overall pick.
Yep, and they did it again.
So let me ask you, who would you rather have? Cam Ward or Jackson Dart?
I think it's a flip of the coin. I think Dart's been awesome. Now, I'd tell you what I'd rather have. I'd rather have Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart.
All right.
But
so
the Giants didn't feel like that. Don, the Giants tried to move up to get the number 1 pick. So they won the meaningless game and admitted they were wrong and still tried to move up. And Tennessee was like, no, you can't have this.
And the guy that's trying to do it could be out of a job in 24 hours. We'll see. But anyway, my point is that's the kind of crapshoot that it is. Because at the time you're thinking, I can't believe that we beat Indianapolis. And if you had lost to Indianapolis, we would have taken Cam Ward. Now, maybe Cam Ward turns out to be the next Eli Manning. Or maybe Cam Ward ends up being a bust. Certainly this year is no way to determine that on a lousy Tennessee team. But you just said you're happy with Abdul Carter, who closed out the season very well. You're happy with Jackson Dart. So if you look at it, being upset beating Indianapolis ended up being for nothing because they might actually be better off. That's my point. I would rather have the first overall pick too, but it's such a crapshoot for you to be so annoyed about it when you know how up in the air the whole thing is. Just seems to be folly to me.
No, it's not because Peter, let me ask you.
Go
would
ahead.
you rather have 1 or would you rather have 5? You have your quarterback. Would you rather be able to trade out of that and move back and get more ammunition for later in the draft, or would you rather?
Okay. I hear. If the difference is 1, because I want to be truthful. Before you came on the show,
I could have had 1.
So if you could have had 1, yes, I'd prefer 1. I for example, Dave, I didn't mind the Commanders beating the Eagles yesterday. We're not vying for 1, so I like beating the Eagles. Feels good. But if you're literally talking about you have the chance to get the best player available in the draft, I certainly understand.
We don't know if the Raiders would have beaten the Chiefs had they known.
Then the Giants would have had 2. But if Dante Moore comes out,
I understand the frustration of it, be that upset about it when we don't know what's going to happen.
And I think Allen can understand that. I hate the Giants now. I hate them. I watch them, and I hate them. I don't enjoy watching it. I watch it out of obligation. The Giants being a competent, relevant, capable football team is years ago now, and I don't enjoy it. The only reason I watch them is because I've loved them since I'm a little kid.
Me too.
Other than that, I want out. I want off this ride.
Listen, I'm 100% with you. But let me ask you this before we let you go.
I appreciate that, honestly. I really do appreciate that.
I feel it too.
I was there.
It's awful.
Dave, it's an awful place to be, and when you don't feel any hope that it can get better because you don't think the top of the team is going to be able to figure it out. And in this case, of course, they have this awful, unfortunate health situation at the top of the organization, which stunts their ability to even take the next step. It's an awful place to be.
That's why I think Joe Schoen is back because of the health situation with John.
Wait, you don't think that, Dave?
I agree.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wanted to keep things just static.
I mean, because John Mara came out last year and at a press conference and said it has to result in wins.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to make sweeping changes. It didn't result in wins. And granted, they fired the head coach, but look at the track record of this GM and how many misses he's had.
Right. But unfortunately, what a difference a year makes, because I don't think John was in the physical health a year ago that he is in now. And again, I don't know from anything other than what everybody else knows, but just looking at some of the beat writers for the Giants and the attention they gave to John before the game started, the way he looked getting the game ball, it doesn't feel good. And I know you've talked about John Mara, sending flowers to your funeral, coming to your funeral, like you wrote a letter to him when you were a kid.
To Wellington. I wrote a letter
to the
Mara
Mara family.
Right.
Yeah,
I wrote a letter to Wellington, and he responded, and I have a framed letter from Wellington Mara, which is unbelievable.
And you used to joke that if anything ever happened to you, you think that the Giants would at least send flowers, if not attend your wake.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Flowers, I think.
So, but my point. So let me ask you this in all seriousness. All right. John went on record as saying he'd fire anybody that tanked, and he wanted to win that game. And that's what kind of tugged at my heartstrings. Listen, I think both themes could be true. I think he's done a terrible job as owner of this team since his father passed away. The record shows it, all right? But I still think he's a really good man and a great man, and I want him to beat this battle. But when you see him get the game ball, how happy he was to beat the Dallas Cowboys, if you're a part of that organization and he tells you, go beat the Cowboys, don't you got to go beat the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with the players. Like everyone says, how could you think players?
Well, the organization then, Joe Schoen, just like he's not going to sit there and go to John. I know you're really sick, but we need to tank this game to get better picks. And John, I know we don't tank. I want to win.
Then you're in such an awful conundrum, like such a catch-22.
It's not really that awful a conundrum.
I watched the video yesterday, and they hand the game ball to John Marin, and I mean, you'd have to be a psychotic not to feel some emotion, some like.
So that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not inhumane. But
I know,
the grand scheme of things, it's not good for the Giants to have won those final two football games.
We don't know. We don't know. I know you'd rather have the first overall, but so many things happen. This whole argument started years ago when I got ripped by Peter and Michael for being happy that Jones threw 5 touchdown passes against the Redskins, beat him in overtime, and I was told that was stupid because I lost out on Chase Young. And, Chase Young's a backup in New Orleans now. Like, I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from, but it's such a crapshoot. Why do you let it bother you? Why do you let it take up so much of your time? I'm listening to the show this morning. You're apoplectic about it.
So
you should be sick about the situation that they're in.
I'm sick
and
about
I can tell you, having high picks doesn't solve it if you're completely incompetent. Get things straight here. Get a good coach. You got a quarterback. Let's go.
I'm sick the GM returns. I'm sick that I'm supposed to be excited about a coach in Kevin Stefanski, who I might be excited about.
Maybe.
But has
I'm with you. I'm not sure.
2 awful seasons.
I'm not sure.
Did you watch, Dave, did you watch any of the, probably not, given where you're at, although you're a professional, so have you watched any of the Hard Knocks?
No, not 1 second.
Dude, they had, I'm a few weeks behind, so I was watching a couple of weeks ago, so it's before the Giants head into their final 4 games, right before the bye. Kafka gives like a little talk to them.
I heard he curses a lot, right?
All he does is curse.
It's embarrassing.
In the wrestling business, we would call it going for a cheap pop or cheap heat.
It doesn't get better, by the way.
All he does when he tries to tell them, we're going to go out there and we're going to win the last 4 games, it's the most unmotivating. How are you a leader of this group? I'm glad you haven't seen it. I'd be worried about you, Dave. Don't watch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more ammunition to show you how embarrassing this franchise is. I mean, we grew up, this team, they were awful, and then George Young took over, and they were the toast of the town. I mean, they were so good for so long, and we couldn't wait to run Tom Coughlin out of here. You would give anything to have a guy like that as the head coach of this team now.
The entire organization in our lifetime is basically about 2 people, George Young and Ernie Accorsi. That's it.
Yep.
Now, Ernie didn't win those 2 Super Bowls. Reese did, but that was obviously with a lot of Accorsi players.
He helped build that.
And Bill Parcells and Tom Coughlin, the coaches and all that, Dave. But none of this happens without those 2 individuals. They'll still be flying planes over the building, burning season tickets if Pete Rozelle didn't say, hire George Young, and then eventually leading to Ernie Accorsi. Otherwise, this is a franchise that is as big an embarrassment as the team they share a building with.
Now, let me ask.
That's a fact.
If I can jump in, Dave, and thank you for giving us time.
Of course.
Kevin Stefanski becomes available. Does that guy go to the top of your list? Do you feel like, again, he coached here 2 times in Cleveland. That's an achievement, right?
Yes.
And he does come with I think you need experience. And I know everybody's talking about Jesse Minter, but this is somebody he's early 40s. He's kind of followed Harbaugh from Michigan. Doesn't have a ton of experience. I think right now you need somebody that's done the job and done it at a high level. So without knowing what's going to happen in Baltimore, because the Lamar stuff's really interesting coming out of there, would they even dare to move on from Harbaugh? But without going there and the Tomlin stuff, this guy is available. Would he be at the top of your list?
He would be up there. I almost feel like, I don't know if you guys feel like this, like head coaches are kind of like the quarterbacks being drafted out of school. Like last year, Ben Johnson was the slam dunk. You thought he was going to be great. He turned out that he was great. Vrabel the same. I don't feel like that's that same amount of greatness in the coaches this offseason that there was last. So I feel like Minter, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I sat here and told you Minter's going to be great or awful. I don't know. I don't know what Clint Kubiak is going to be,
right?
Or Shula's grandson is going to be, or any of these guys. I mean, the fact that Stefanski was coach of the year 2 times with Cleveland almost means you should go directly to the Hall of Fame because it's such a pathetic franchise.
Can you name the last Browns head coach to be a 2-time coach of the year?
I would go back to like Paul Brown. I have no idea.
I don't kill you.
No, it's not Freddie Kitchen.
That's a great idea.
Forrest Gregg.
Oh, God.
Which I had forgotten he was a Browns coach. I remember him in Cincinnati.
on the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah, and then offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers, but that goes back a long, long time ago.
So, I mean, to answer your question, and I hate to take the fifth here. It's like, I don't know, Alan. I think I like him. I think he's smart. I think to have had success in Cleveland, where there's such a disaster of a franchise, does mean something.
Mm-hmm.
But does it mean that he comes here and he has great success? I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys feel like this, that I need immediate success. All I hear is there's so much talent, and it was all on Dable, and he blew all these games, and they have all these high picks, and they're going to have another top 5 pick, and they have money in free agency. No more 1-7s. No more week 17. What does that turn into?
I think you're going. I actually think there's a better chance of that because of everything that's been said. And Dable, this all started with him and Wink, and it all went downhill because he couldn't get along with Wink. And so, start there, and the fact that there was a lot that you could put on his shoulders of why things went south. He didn't hold some players accountable, all that stuff. So it could happen. You got to look at right now. Every year, there's always 6 to 7 jobs open. We're at 6 right now, and who knows what's going to happen with any of the playoff teams. But right now, what would you consider? You rank the Giants' job as far as
walk me. I think it might be one, but I don't want to miss anything.
All right, Atlanta, Tennessee, the Giants, Cleveland, Raiders, and the Cardinals.
1. I think it's the best job
ahead of Atlanta with all that talent in Atlanta. They don't.
I think Atlanta's an attractive.
You
job
just don't
too.
know the quarterback.
You don't trust the quarterback. I tell you what, I'd rather have Jackson Dart than Michael Penix. I feel confident in saying that.
Yeah, because now his both knees are bad. But if you think about it, that division, that owner might be a little bit easier of a road, right?
And also it's Atlanta and it's not New York, right? So certainly, but I think when you look, I mean, and there's something to be said, and Rick always argues, and then we had Renan on today. He's like, it's still the Giants. As disastrous as they have been, it's still one of the creme de la creme jobs in the National Football League, and it's still working for a great ownership group, which the fan base might not look at and say is a great ownership group, but people around the league look at the patience that the Giants ownership group works with, and you're going to get a too fair of a shake with some of these guys. Mm-hmm. So I still think it's the Giants 1 with Atlanta's a very close.
So then you should get the best candidate available. That's why I asked.
I think, but again, it goes back to who's the best candidate.
Not sure. Yeah, because you don't have that Ben Johnson from last year where you're like, this guy's going to be great. And we'll see how good he actually is, right?
Yeah,
they lose their first playoff game, and then who knows what happens. We thought they had the guy in Dable when they make the playoffs, win a playoff game, and then he wins Coach of the Year, and it went downhill from there. So, listen, I just don't want you to fret over it. That's all. I don't want this to be an issue between me and you.
That's never going to be an issue. Listen, you can have a take, which I strongly disagree with. It doesn't mean it's going to be an issue between us.
Here's the thing. It's not really that we disagree. It's just I don't think you should get all caught up in it and get crazy about it, man.
It's Dave Rothenberg.
This is who I am.
You want me to play the audio to help you remind you who this guy is? Do you want to see the manner?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Don?
How can I forget? Really, you'd call a doctor if I said I don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to get an exam.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you all right, Don? You sound like you're unwell.
No,
a little under the weather.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling good to start the show, and so I said, we have a big wrestler, Seth Rollins, coming on at 3:30. I'll take the lead, Don. Don't you worry about it. He said, sure, sounds good. I sat down in Don's chair. He came in the room, saw me in the chair. Went, yeah, I changed my mind. Move over, kid.
Really?
Got me up and out. Oh, yeah. He was disgusted.
Like a father seeing his son sitting in his lazy boy.
Exactly.
You know what?
You know what? Give me the remote.
Nah, just a little under the weather, 2 games in a row. So I think I'll be all right. If not, then we'll see. All right?
I hope you're all right, Don.
I hope you're all right.
We'll have to take him out back.
All right.
Lay him down.
Call it.
Old Yeller.
By the way, what a perfect nickname for you.
Old Yeller?
Old Yeller?
Yeah, it's perfect. Love you, Dave.
He is Old Yeller.
Not Whitey?
Bye, Dave. Well, listen, the whitey part is the gray hair, which is the old.
Come on.
He's not actually old, but he is a Yeller.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeller.
Yes, Old Yeller.
Get it back in an hour. We're back.
Don't start doing it, please. I get lost every time.
Calls galore. ENN at 6. Knicks at 6:30. All on ESPN New York.
FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college football playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Ride with the favorite, take a shot at the underdog, or build a parlay. Then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel is the best place to get into all the football action all playoff long, and when you win, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college playoff profit boost today. FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college football playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Ride with the favorite, take a shot at the underdog, or build a parlay. Then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
Rich Eisen here. LinkedIn Jobs is stepping things up with their new AI assistant so you can feel confident you're finding top talent. Get this. Employees hired through LinkedIn are 30% more likely to stick around for at least a year compared to those hired through the leading competitor. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter.
All right, let's hear from you. 1-800-919-3776.
You don't know that.
I really don't.
Think about it.
All right, let's go to Luca in Soho. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Luca?
Hey guys. Happy New Year. First and foremost. Listen, I just want to say, Don, you ripped me a couple of weeks back when I merely suggested that Kevin Stefanski would be a good option. After you said, what about a good retread coach? And isn't that what Stefanski is at this point? You know, his track record isn't so great in Cleveland, and now he's all over the New York media as a potential suitor, right?
Well, I don't think I ripped it saying there's no shot. I might have ripped it because I don't love it. I still don't love it, but we'll see. It sounds like he's got the inside track, so I think you're getting your wish.
And one more thing before you guys cut me off. I was going to say another thing, but I'm not going to take too long with this point about the Giants. You know, it's like beating a dead horse. But I just want to say this year flew by, so I'm really happy you guys are together. It's been a great show and listen so far. So keep things up, and again, here's to another year.
Thanks, man.
Guys.
Wow. Look, I appreciate it. I remember him calling about Stefanski, and I think it was right after. Didn't he? He blew some call or something. I forget.
Remember, the Jets beat the Browns.
I'm not in love with it. But it's not like I would rather have Mike McCarthy.
It was because there was a 3rd and short, and there was an illegal procedure penalty that the Browns had that gave the Jets a first down that ended up icing the game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was
and
two.
then there was another 12 men, or they couldn't set up for a field goal, and you said, how can you have a coach that can't get these things right? How can this guy be so sought after if he can't do this
And
stuff?
I think Luka called like that day or the day after, and I'm like,
he was
no,
not very happy.
him. But, who knows? They're all, listen, I love when you want to spin it the way you want to spin it. Oh, well, he won Coach of the Year twice in Cleveland. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Isn't that the objective?
But nobody's saying he shouldn't be a coach.
But
the Giant, he should be on the Giants list.
I hope he is.
All right, so like again, Clint Kubiak is 38 years old. Is that what you want to do?
If he's the right guy, I don't know if he's the right guy. I have no idea.
38 years old, Don.
I have no.
That's what you want to do. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good coach, but is this right now the best thing to do?
I need a guy dragging a resume with him. I'm sorry. I need a guy.
You want to hear some rings?
Jesse Minter is 43 years old. Never been a coach. Like he has coached in more places than he spent time in places.
I know.
Like he's moved around so much. His father's a head coach in college. Or actually, his father was a head coach in college. I think his father's in the NFL too. But like these could be good coaches one day. But is this the best job for right now?
I need a resume
for you.
I need a resume.
So, all right, so the resume guys, I just gave you 2 of them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the resume guys are going to have, they've been fired, or they did that, or they did this. Like the 38-year-old, it's a clean slate. That's why everybody's like, oh, I want him. And Mike McCarthy, look at the playoff losses in Green Bay and Dallas.
You have a quarterback that's learning how to be the CEO of a team, and you're going to have a head coach that's learning how to be a head coach. All at the same time.
No, thank you. In New York?
In New York.
Yeah.
In New York, in a place where, as Dave said, I can't go through another, 1-7 start because you figure like you do have to turn this thing at some point.
Yes, I have to.
So that's why, as nice as some of these things sound, because of what Ben Johnson looks like, what Mike McDonald looks like, right? What KOC looks like in Minnesota, like those look like that worked, right? Liam Cohn in Jacksonville.
Looked like it worked.
That all looks like that worked. This just doesn't feel like that kind of job. And I'm telling you, if I'm Jimmy Sexton, I'm representing one of these guys, no chance I want you in New York.
Yeah, if your goal is to have a job,
ruin your career.
Yes, if your goal is to have a job for a long time and make a lot of money over time.
You'll make a lot of money, but you might not last that long.
But that's the thing. You want to make money for a long time.
Robert Saleh, by the way, back in the cycle, head coaching jobs.
I'm good.
They're talking about.
He's another guy that's going to be in the cycle.
Isn't
that wild?
I've never seen someone who's more obviously a future Hall of Fame level coordinator. Like, he's fantastic in that spot.
It's just
just don't mess with it.
It's what he's good
But
at.
you know what the reputation is now? When you fail with the Jets, it's a Jet.
By the way,
not a your
by the way,
exactly.
And by the way, how can I blame people for having that?
Right.
I watched Aaron Rodgers yesterday. His best receiver on the field is Adam Thielen, and he's managing to sling it down the field.
Well, I mean, he was throwing some good passes, but they were supposed to lose that game.
Well, I understand, but he didn't have anything. There were balls that he's thrown as a Steeler that just for some reason weren't able to happen.
You say he's supposed to lose that game. If everything went the way it was supposed to, that should have gone to overtime, right?
Well,
because they never missed the extra point, and who knows what happened.
Fair enough.
Aaron Rodgers had more exciting offensive plays last night than the Jets had all year. How about that take?
That's a good take, and that's why this whole thing all goes back to Woody Johnson. And everything with the Jets all goes back to Woody Johnson. Aaron Glenn was the face of, we don't need Aaron Rodgers, but we all know he was only a messenger. He was a vessel. We all know it was Woody Johnson.
Hey, guys, I know what it's like. I don't know if you're aware of this. I have worked at places before where ownership is bad, and you see it everywhere. And there's really not much you can do to fight against ownership being really bad.
Nope.
It's just how it is. Hey, guys, a little game time for you, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time,
it's Tully time.
The Knicks looking to get back on track in Detroit against the Pistons. Coverage right here on 880 at 6:30. Rangers Mammoth on 1050 at 6:30. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
ENN is next on ESPN New York.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead.
Really?
That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's Second Chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And now it's time for traffic. Here's Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of the night. We've got the Rangers home over at MSG. Not too bad of a ride on either side of town, heading into Midtown. FDR southbound, just a little bit busy over by the 59th Street Bridge. WWE Monday Night Raw at the Barclays in Brooklyn. Westbound BQE jammed, heading over to Atlantic Avenue from the LIE in Queens. Eastbound side, a stop-and-go ride from the inbound Gowanus. Not moving much on the Bruckner eastbound in the Bronx. It's a big collision over by Rosedale Avenue. Only one lane is squeezing by. Delays are starting to back up across the Triborough Bridge. Cross Bronx westbound. Still have this crash over by the Sheridan involving a tractor trailer in the center lane. Solid slowdowns heading over to the outbound George from White Plains Road on through. Inbound George still in great shape for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln and Holland Tunnels just about a 5 to 10 minute ride. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan. Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports. Not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is an ENN Special Report. Now reporting...
The very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports.
Do what you want. It's ENN.
First one of the year, right?
Wow. Oh, yeah, it hits different.
Now you know we're back.
It hits different, especially when it's the day before the 1-year anniversary of this program.
Big January 6th.
Yay! That's right. That is the anniversary.
It's the day. It's the day we did it.
The day we stormed the airwaves.
You know Mike Reyes from MSG, right?
Sure.
He believes the 4th. That's it. After January 4th, no more Happy New Year.
Well, that's Larry David.
That's a Larry David bit.
So I said to him,
I forget when Larry said it was, though.
So I said, listen.
4th.
He said the 4th?
Yeah.
I said, listen, if it's January 6th and we're on our way to storming the Capitol and I turn to you and go, Happy New Year, you're not going to return the favor? He goes, no, I'll say thanks. You too, but I won't say Happy New Year.
Really?
So I thought you'd appreciate that. MSG guy.
I thought you were gonna say he'd respond, why would I be storming the Capitol?
I got to be honest with you, it was a joke.
But you were testing.
And I wasn't leaning either way.
Oh, sure. No, you were thinking,
but
what's your preference? You like storming or no?
No, but because I think both sides could chuckle.
Sure. No, I agree. Yeah, whether you're pro-storm or anti-storm.
I wasn't coming from any side.
But he didn't chuckle. He answered straight away.
I'm sorry. For whatever way you lean, you hear January 6th. I'm sorry. I don't think about the launch of the show.
Really?
I do.
By the way,
think about.
By the way, that date is so strong.
It is. It's December 7th.
December 7th, the Jays. I have a friend who his baby's due date was tomorrow, and that was when the hospital set the C-section for.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked it over, and they came back, and they said, we're going to go ahead and do January 5th. We're good on. We just want to share the date
because of our show.
Yeah, because of our show.
Wow. Thank you.
He said, I don't want to Bigfoot your show with my baby being born in Los Angeles. So go ahead, and we're going to do it.
But like significant dates.
It's a big one.
You know, I'm not talking about the significance. It's just that you don't ever hear things referred to by that specific
Correct.
date. Even 9/11. Like September 11th, 9/11, you kind of either one. Like you never hear 1/6.
But that's a very interesting.
Right.
In terms of dates, where the date itself is its own Wikipedia page, for lack of a better word, just the date.
Right.
September 11th.
Right.
January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Would December 7th get one? Like its own? Do people think of? Like, do people just go? Or do you say no? Pearl Harbor. Like, do people say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. I don't think
You're
for
right.
younger people, it's all, you know what I think? Larry Bird's birthday. But
really?
Yeah, 15 years later. December 7th, 1956.
That's scary. It was just 15 years later.
What did you say?
It's just 15 years later.
Yeah? Larry's old.
Yeah, because I guess
he ain't no spring chicken. It's the hick from French Lick.
56.
That's right. To you and me. Let me start off tonight by saying good evening to Don.
I just like the continuity of the yayo every morning.
I'd like to say good evening to Don.
The fact that you went yayo like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big Ryan Hurley thing. I used to like it. Well, where did I do that?
Stubbed your toe.
Oh, that's right.
That's the toe stub you. Good evening to Don.
How about massive heart attack?
and to Don.
Oh, boy.
How about hemorrhaging from the eyes?
And to Don.
Rectal bleeding.
That's it.
Yep. And Alan.
The minute Jalen grabs this cup, I'm going to just poke my thumb right in his butt.
Oh, it's clean day.
Oh, I missed that.
That's weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting. I had not heard that.
That's a clean day.
No.
And to myself.
For your ace.
Oh, I'm very clean.
That's
please,
long time ago.
Jacob, look at me. Look at me.
He did not have a clean day.
Do we have a Danny from Long Island drop? No?
Oh, no.
Yes, we do.
We do or don't?
Oh, we do.
Oh, we should.
It's not going to get any bigger.
No.
Something was said by Danny?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was it
the way he described the season.
Listen, you're lucky you score a point. You suck.
I don't
The way
remember.
he described the football season for the Steelers.
I don't remember
You
what
don't
he
remember?
said. No.
He said it was long.
Got it.
Right.
Oh, he said it was hard also.
Hard.
Mm-hmm.
The way he said it with the passion.
Yes.
Like it was coming right at him.
Like he had gotten through it.
I just like the continuity of the yayo every morning.
There's a lot more. There was a lot more going on besides the game last night.
Well, ENN tonight is brought to you by our friends at Ramsey Mazda. I'm so mad I missed this.
No, it was. We looked right at each other.
Did you miss it, or you just didn't think it's going to clear waivers?
Oh.
Well, we'll find out. Now
I missed it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go back and grab it. I'll have it.
Go back and grab it. Exactly right.
The Rams anticipate getting Devontae Adams back from a hamstring injury.
Okay.
You give the Panthers any shot?
For your ace.
None shot.
None shot.
They just beat him.
Shot.
I know they did.
Come on.
Yeah, but this is
meaningless game.
This didn't
It's
warm
10.5 points.
Yeah, none shot.
Yeah, this is.
I might.
Wait,
I
no.
might
Wait,
dabble.
Anthony. Do you mean you give
Cover?
Panthers a chance to
I
cover?
was talking
or
about winning the
He
Well,
game.
means
by the
win.
way, not crazy. They might win.
No, but well, I'll tell you what. If you feel that way,
But it.
throw
Go
some
ahead.
cash.
Come
Throw
on.
some cash on the table because
Listen, I have some extra from you guys. So.
Jeez.
you know he's going to keep laying it.
Unnecessary. The
Show
minute
me something.
Jalen grabs
Yeah.
this cup, I'm going to just poke my thumb right in his butt. That's what Josh said. In his brain, he was thinking that in a moment
that's what happened.
when confetti came down. That's the first thing he thought of.
That's
wow, what a moment. Hey, this is fun. No, he thought that
Rectal bleeding.
that.
Yeah, right there
Man.
for your ace, indeed. Anyway, so Devontae coming back is obviously huge for the Rams, and Sean McVay says he does expect him to be back. He has not played since Week 15. Last Thursday he practiced. He was listed as limited on Thursday and Friday, but then went ahead and sat out against the Cardinals. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. That guy's season, by the way. I remember in the offseason, Ballard said to me, we were having an argument about value for receivers. He was saying remember when Terry McLaurin was having the back and forth? And then he said how good Devontae is, and he said, how much you want to bet Devontae has a better season with Stafford than McLaurin has with Daniels. Now, I didn't even get a fair shake at it, as McLaurin was hurt all year and Daniels was hurt all year. But Devontae has been,
You talk about
put him right in the Hall of Fame now.
But
I mean, that
like
guy is
a resurrection too. If you think about how it things
because where
ended
was he last year?
with the Jets?
Exactly.
And it was
you thought he was
looked
done.
Done.
He looked done.
Cooked. And then this year, it's like rebirth.
How much you want to bet if somehow the Steelers had managed, instead of prying away DK Metcalf,
that they took
they'd
him?
gotten Devontae back in
Wow.
Pittsburgh, even though they were just together. Remember, they
I
were
know.
together here
I know.
last year,
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
and nothing happened.
They were not on the same page.
And now Aaron Rodgers is heading to the playoffs, had a solid year.
right.
Not great, but very solid.
Solid.
And Devontae was the best receiver in football.
And that's why
It's unbelievable.
the Jets can't taint you, because the feeling is that
the Jets.
It's the Jets that do it. You can't win.
Maybe we should give Saleh a head coaching job. Well, why? He was only bad for the Jets. Who's not bad for the Jets?
Yeah, who's won there?
God, I hope Mr. C in heaven right now has taken on a new team. I hope when Mr. C passed, when he got to the pearly gates, because one of the first things he'd care about, my friend Mr. C, is the New York Jets. And I hope that he got there and God went, you know what, C? You've been an incredible, or he'd call him by his real name. It's God. So he'd say, Calvin, you've had a hell of a run. We're going to give you the chance here in heaven to pick any team you want and love them as much as you ever loved the Jets. And I hope he went, fantastic. I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about it. Mr. C passed away in his 50s. So he didn't even remember the Super Bowl win. It was his entire life on this planet with no joy. He listened to us on the K Show constantly, texting me about the Jets. It was his whole life. People come to this planet, they live a whole life, They leave this planet, and the Jets never have given them anything.
You're saying Mr. C?
Yes, the DJ Mr. C.
Big Daddy Kane's guy?
That's right.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
We're a huge Jet fan.
Wow. Sad.
Like so many. But think about how many people are like that. How many people listening right now but you're fortunately still with us. But imagine how many listeners we have, barely at times, but imagine how many listeners we have listening right now who are hearing me say this and going, yep, I'm thinking of Uncle Joe, I'm thinking of my dad. Their whole life, they didn't get to have anything. That's just real. Like, nothing in life is guaranteed. And we as sports fans, we care so much about the teams we love to never get anything.
Nothing.
Like, it's silly, but it also sucks.
But just think, once again, the entire league is going to go on with the playoffs, and New York will not be involved.
How many people have given up? They just thought like the way you did and said, I'm not going to be like my dad. I'm not going to die alone. I'm out. After 15
but you stay out
years.
until they get good, and then you'll jump back in.
But when's that going to be?
But why can't you? You can be out and disinterested and checked out, and then if things turn, then you can be like, all right, I can come back in now because it's safe.
Could it ever get to a point, guys, seriously, where it's like, you know what? I'm 25, 30 years old. All I know is losing. I'm done. And they go another 5-6 years being awful. And you don't even pick another team. And then the Jets all of a sudden get good again, to where it's like, all right, it's gone. I don't feel it. I think that would happen. Where you just you're just done with it, and then they get good. But it's like, I'm over it, man. I've been out of it for a few years.
I know.
Now.
Listen, I know.
I don't need to. I don't need. To deal with that anymore.
I do know people who did that with the Commanders. Where last year they didn't come back. They were like, I left the Snyder thing. I'm gone. Like it passed me by.
Did that ever happen to you, Don?
No,
you still care about your Mets. Is it the job that keeps you locked in?
No, but the Mets aren't close to the Jets.
No, there's nothing like this.
There's nothing. Like, just remember
15 years.
Remember, the Mets have won 17 years more recently than the Jets. And then they went to another in 2000. Every 15 years, they give you something.
No, you got to understand something. The Jets, from 98 to 2010, were functioning, capable. Had moments.
Yes.
But it wasn't the last 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, even in the 80s, the Jets had moments. They had high-flying offenses. They had the sack exchange in the early part. They actually got the AFC Championship game. Like, there were moments. This last 15 years is unlike anything of any team I've ever been a fan of.
And the Sabres, who are on their way to 15, they just win 10 in a row.
They just won 10 in a row.
They might sneak into the playoffs. Certainly have a great chance of making the playoffs. The Jets don't.
Nope.
So they might be standing alone, but there's just so much else to do now. But
it's football, Don. It's that's the problem. It's football. Everybody cares about it. You saw the Christmas Day numbers. The NBA had one of its best Christmas days ever, paled in comparison to a NFL that was on Netflix. You had to literally go to an app to watch those games. It's still 22 million people watched it.
But I will tell you,
so
maybe it's because of the kids. Maybe it's because of the Devil job, and before that, the Rangers, where I never missed a Giant game, ever. I mean, I didn't miss a play.
I get it.
But now I have to miss games because I've got
work.
And that's compromised it. And now the team has been bad for a while. Or if you're a Jet fan, the Jets have been bad for a while. And I do believe it's affected my general interest in football. I still love it. I still follow it. But I am not nearly as big a fan as I was 20 years ago. Again, maybe it's because I'm older and I've got other obligations, but maybe it's just because, you know what? My team hasn't been good in a while. Like, I can understand a Jet fan just be like, yeah, I watch games, but I'm just not as passionate anymore. How much more do you need to go through?
Well, that was me this year.
Right.
I couldn't care less about the Jets. This is the first year that it just, like, that Rodgers injury in the first game, that did something. And then since then I had to kept up on it and stuff. But this year, no.
And do you know, culturally, the little things when a team is broken, the changes happening are so impactful that, and I apologize to the people who hate me for doing this, but it's who I am. Sorry, deal with it. My team changing the name, the owner somehow leaving. Everyone thinks it's Jaden Daniels. That's the reason I'm in a good mood. I told you guys. Once Snyder was gone, I was like, I don't care if we don't win for 10 years. Culture can change now. There's hope for change. The hard part if you've had bad ownership is if the top is completely broken, how can you fix it?
There you go. And that's why
it's really, really hard.
The Jet thing for me.
It's forever a problem.
I can't.
And Don brilliantly pointed it out. Woody Johnson may be a bit of a doof, but he's not evil and horrible.
No.
Which is to the detriment of the fan base. Because if he was evil and horrible like Dan Snyder, you can find a way out.
Yeah.
He's
Donald
not doing
Sterling.
anything. Or Donald Sterling.
Yeah.
Woody's not Donald Sterling or Dan.
Think about the Clippers since Donald Sterling was gone. Like what's happened there? They got an arena. They got their own identity. Like
there's something going on there.
At least there's something.
They got a couple stars.
Right.
But
you're right. Woody Johnson's
Woody's going to keep
he's not a bad guy. He's just a bad owner.
And so you're just stuck there.
And you're just, you are. They're not going to do anything about it. And you're going to have to find somebody that just by miracle, again, Rex did it in a short span. Like by miracle, it just gets right and he knows to stay out of it. Because it's, all right, it's going well. I don't have to do anything.
Right.
And that's all. It's
Guys,
the only thing that matters is Darren Muji.
Do you remember that they got Aaron Rodgers? And on the first series, he tore his Achilles.
Why? Yes, I just.
No, do you believe that happened?
I pointed out that that's what broke me.
That's it.
That's it. That broke
How
me.
could you to think we?
I
finally...
used to schedule day. I would tell my wife like the Jets playing at 1, Jets playing at 4, Jets are. I would always tell her like Jets are here, Jets are there. She always knew. And now it's like I didn't know when the Jets are playing. Probably at 1 because they're never going to be a 4:00 game.
Well, they were yesterday.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like everything was this year. It didn't matter.
Let's talk about someone who does bring.
Let's
joy.
please.
Shedeur Sanders.
That's my quarterback.
Here is Shedeur Sanders on the prospect of building a relationship with a new coach.
Yeah, well, this year been the first year with a different head coach than Pop, so that was the adjustment off rip, and it was cool, it was straight. Like building different relationships, like in different circumstances, situations, which is always good to have those life goals and have those life lessons around, just to have them on building blocks so then you prepared in any situations.
Is it me, and I'm saying this totally facetiously, but just on voice tone alone, does he not give you every time he talks? I just, he's learning with a new coach, man. It's like you just want to chuck the ball down the field, just like see what happens. He just sounds so laid back.
He sounds like he's smiling while talking.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a great trait. It just makes for funny sounding audio.
I don't know, man. That season was a crazy trip,
man. Yeah, it's like my first year with this coach.
It's a crazy trip, man.
How do we view the Shedeur experiment? The season's over. You got to look at it. How do you view it?
I seriously think that he is intriguing enough to want to see more, but I don't think he's ready to be a QB1. I just see him as somebody that you'd want to probably put a little more time in.
Let's take a look at the final stats now.
Okay.
Year's over.
Okay.
3-4. 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, threw for 1,400 yards, completion percentage of 56.6. Not great.
Not great.
Not great stats. 6.6 yards per attempt. He doesn't run it well, as you know.
Well, I've said that. He's not a great runner, but he's like he can go. It's just
what I could see Shedeur being. I could see Shedeur being that career backup who's kind of a pain in the ass wherever he is because the fans are always like, I want to see Shedeur. Like I could see him being the very rootable backup who's good enough to come in and start a game and maybe get you a win or two, but probably is never going to become a top flight starter.
So what you're saying is somebody that would have been drafted in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm. Although I bet pretty often it probably to be a good backup in this league. That's an interesting question. If you were to look up the average draft position for the guys who become good backups in the league,
really,
they're probably higher than 5th round. You probably got to be 2nd or 3rd round,
absolutely,
to hope to be a good backup.
If you look
in this
at
league.
the good backups in the league, they were once starters. That you realize couldn't be full-time starters, but were good enough to be good backups.
Right.
Because you need a guy that can start because your starter will get hurt. Right?
So I mean, think about it. We talk about good backups. We talk about Mariota. Mariota was 1.
Yeah. Trubisky.
Yeah, but these are all picks in the top part of the first round.
But those guys were all like, Jameis Winston was a backup quarterback this year. Drafted
He's been
first overall.
a backup quarterback.
But if I'm in the draft, I'm just looking for a steady backup quarterback. I'd probably take that in the 4th or 5th.
Yes. Where was Case Keenum taken?
I'm guessing.
I want to say second
round.
or 3rd.
Right, like Colt McCoy.
I think
Colt
he was
was
a first-round pick. Wasn't he?
Like these guys.
No, remember we just talked about. We just spent like 20 minutes the other day, me and Alan, talking about Colt McCoy's draft position. I think it was.
did.
I think he fell back out. We were talking
Remember,
about
he
why.
was a legend in Texas.
Because you weren't here that day, Don.
Yeah.
Me and Alan looked up
We
Colt
couldn't
McCoy's
believe-
his college and high school numbers, Don.
He lived the life.
It's like he was birthed from a football. You've never seen
third
stats
round
like
pick.
this.
Third round's pretty high. When you're named Colt McCoy.
No, there's only one.
And you are the quarterback of the best high school football team in Texas.
When your name's
My
Colt McCoy,
Lord.
there's two things you do. You toss a football and you slice.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
No,
Yes,
it's not
you
even
did.
English, John.
I know.
no, but we know what that
it
means,
looks
though.
like undrafted Case Keenum.
Undrafted.
All right. There you go. All right.
Now,
but he was
that's
a good
closer to fifth round.
Wasn't he a good college quarterback, though?
I thought he was.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
I
By
was,
the way, he was a decent pro at times too.
I was talking to somebody on the road trip of a really good quarterback. Remember Neil Lomax?
Of course.
Yeah.
Great Cardinal.
St. Louis Cardinal.
One of the great Cardinals.
Drafted in the second round. Went to Portland
That is
State.
a strange pull. Very nice.
Went to Portland State. You talk about having
big football school there.
By the way, back-to-back strange polls. Portland State? Hey, come on.
Isn't that 1AA?
I don't even know that's a real
gotta
school.
be.
All right,
That's gotta be.
But Tom
here's
roots for them,
All right,
ironically.
but no. So Neil Lomax, 4 years at Portland State.
Balled out. He had to ball out at Portland State.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Oh, he was insane.
Yeah.
42 touchdowns in one season. Give it to me.
Like 6 interceptions.
Yeah, he just nothing but
5,000
yards.
yards.
He one time beat Delaware State.
Give me the total.
There you
75 points.
105
See.
to nothing.
Yeah.
See, now we're down.
Threw 7 touchdowns in the first quarter.
The Lomax.
Then went on to beat Cal Poly Pomona.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Strange
2 weeks
polls.
later,
Yeah.
93-7.
All right, this Neil Lomax update was brought to you
Yes,
by
it was.
Ramsey Mazda. Get more for your money at Ramsey Mazda. Like a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 or Mazda CX-90, choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. I'm off to the
Yeah.
Barclays Center for Raw.
Have fun.
I thought you were banned.
These seasons are long, they're hard.
Yeah, Becky Lynch did say Pipsqueak Peter Rosenberg's not allowed, but I'm going to take a risk.
Go for it. I dare you.
You know what? That
If
can
I
make
see
for a very
Delulu
good
Dave,
story.
I'll say hello.
We could have some surprises tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah.
Knicks Pistons, that's not nothing. We'll have that to recap.
That's a very important game.
Rangers and the Mammoth. Can the Rangers win when there's a roof? We're going to find out. Can they win? Can they score some goals at Madison Square
Ceiling
Garden?
is the roof.
We've got Devils Islanders tomorrow over at UBS. I will not be on the call because ESPN Plus has the game.
Oh, now they want to get their grubby paws all over the
And
Devils.
the way my voice is, I think I'll take the break.
Yeah.
And then I'll be in your neck of the woods, or not really, Pittsburgh. You know,
I love Pittsburgh.
I'll be there on Thursday.
And my niece may go to Pitt next year. She got into Pitt. So.
St. John's basketball, more football. Who else is going to get fired? We've got it all coming up. Should be a lot of fun. Knicks basketball is coming up next. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Hi, this is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. I've talked about